right, welcome on in. 121212. We're gonna be doing some more Star Wars: The Old Republic, and we're gonna hopefully get closer to finishing the main storyline for the Jedi Sentinel, which is pretty much the same as the consular. Now, just as the groovy music was kicking in, hold on. My OBS crashed just as I pressed go live the first time, and it kept giving me the error every time I loaded OBS, like, do you want to run it normal or safe mode or whatever? And I said, okay, run normal. I'll close it. I'll reopen it. And then that way it's all good. Well, it kept giving me issues. Like then the chat wouldn't open up, and I don't know. It was just a comedy of errors. So it's like OBS hasn't done that in forever. I don't know what the issue was. I don't know if it was a Windows update or what have you, but it was bad. It's like, okay. Let's systematically figure out what went wrong. All right, let me get to the right thing here. There we go. Yeah, and I even had like the game music off, or the game sounds off, and just the you know, that little compilation of KOTOR music, and that kept turning off and on and off and on, and I had to check all my settings 5 times over before we got kind of started again. So I'm here. I got it done. I'm gonna start streaming when I say regularly, when I do stream, that's probably a better way of saying it. It's probably gonna be at a later time. I'm in Central Standard Time, so no earlier than say 9 o'clock on any given day, probably going forward. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not trying to capture a certain market. I'm not trying to say, okay, there's this group of audience that specifically is only watching during this time. It's just the best time for me. And if it's the best time for me, then it's going to translate hopefully for the best time for you. Not only that, but also the excuse me, the YouTube VODs, it doesn't matter. Oh, I got a cough out of nowhere. I had to cough. But yeah, the VODs doesn't matter, right? But if you're watching on YouTube, you can, 9 o'clock Central Time on any given night. I hate making a schedule just yet because I don't want to commit to that. I still try to make videos first. It's just that I got sidetracked with doing a lot of Star Wars stuff. So maybe we'll make it like a Friday night thing or something once we get done with KOTOR and SWTOR. And I still need to come back to Survivor and finish that one. I think I'm almost to 3/4 of the way in Jedi Survivor, so it'd be kind of nice to finish that game too. There's so many epic moments in that game. I'm pretty sure that I know I'm not at 3/4, but I'm somewhere between 3/4 and 1/2. I'm just somewhere in that range, that zone. So we're closer to finishing than not finishing, and it all just has to do again with how many side things do I want to do, So anyway, there's so many things that came out today. They had the Let's Play, the Sony Let's Play. And normally, because it's PlayStation stuff and I play on PC, I don't have a PlayStation. I don't get too interested in what they're doing. I mean, I keep up with it, but I don't really, it is what it is. But I saw that Silent Hill trailer for Townfall, that's the name of it. And I totally forgot about that game, because they announced something about it maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago. I don't know, it's been forever, it seems. And then when and then we got Silent Hill F, we were like, well, in my brain, I was like, well, that must be what it ended up being, because I didn't remember much about Townfall or the description of it or what it was supposed to be. But we got a little bit more information with the state of play, and it is interesting. You don't really want to just copy paste what Silent Hill had done in the past or what it's going to be doing. And it does seem to capture the spirit, though. I'm a big Silent Hill fan. That's my favorite horror franchise, easily. I'm not a Resident Evil person. I've always loved Silent Hill. Says, get the red lightsaber. Proud husband. How you doing? The end is great. The boss is hard, and you got to fight the 2x Rancor challenge to tell you to travel back to Coruscant. Back to Coruscant, back to the beginning for Jedi Survivor. Yeah, I like I said, I haven't finished Jedi Survivor, but I know it's really epic, and I have a poll on my YouTube channel that says, when I do stream, which one do you prefer seeing? You know, Jedi Survivor, KOTOR, or SWTOR? And gotten a few votes. It was kind of like 50-50 there with Jedi. I'm sorry, it was KOTOR and SWTOR. With KOTOR doing a little bit better, just by 1 or 2 votes. But anyway, the poll's still out there if you want to go to my channel. It's under the posts tab. So you're always welcome to make your vote there. And of course, we have a Discord. Anytime you want to say, hey, look, I'm tired of you playing these Star Wars games, get back to Baldur's Gate or something, put it in the put in the Discord. But yeah, at some point I do need to come back to Baldur's Gate, and we'll play that. But again, the streaming's usually secondary to this channel. But I'm kind of at a creative rut at the moment. I have a lot of projects. I have my Jira project. I have more Baldur's Gate stuff. I have the Dune now chapters 3 and 4 to cover. I did chapter 1, but I did it kind of in a cinematic narrative experience. I didn't just say, you know, scene to scene, cutscene to cutscene. I kind of wrote a little story to go along with the character who was going through her journey. So I don't know, I spent a lot of time. I'm very proud of it. I haven't gotten a lot of feedback on it. There's not a ton of comments. I think a lot of people either just watch it or they don't. It's probably one of those that if you're going to watch it and listen to the whole thing, it's probably more of a passive listen, which I don't mind. You know, that's what I do with a lot of videos I watch on YouTube. So, but yeah, like when you beat the, sorry, my chat is on 2 separate sections. So if I look down, I'm not ignoring you. I've got to look at my phone to see the chat. But I like watching the super hard death challenges where you die a million times but don't give up and eventually win. Yeah, I hate watching people play easy stuff. It's like, show me some human might. I'm okay with challenges, but I'm also I'm really focused on storytelling, because I played so many hard games when I was a kid growing up. You know, it's, you know, to us those were normal games, but it's kind of like in all the years later, it's like, man, Castlevania was super hard, or Metroid was super hard, and to us they were just like normal games, you know. And so I don't mind hard games. I mean, I've played a lot of games on stream, you know. I wouldn't say it's hard necessarily, Black Myth Wukong, but that to me was one of the better difficult games with small windows of attack with a great story. Very, very commonly you have one or the other. It's either a great combat game and kind of a story, or there's a great story and combat. Expedition 33 kind of did something of a hybrid, and I think that's why a lot of people kind of like had an affinity for it. It was like, oh, this is accessible. This is basically it's JRPG, right? But it was accessible to a lot of people who would not have normally played those type of games, or would have had the time or commitment to play those games. I think it did something kind of special. But I'm not opposed to challenges, but for me on this channel, what I've done a lot of times is focus on the stories. but yes, I will definitely, especially if it's a channel that I'm familiar with or know, I'll definitely like, hey, you know, because there are a couple on Twitch that I do keep up with. Shadow Revan Knight, who is a going for partner right now on Twitch. There's a little community between him and a few others that do a lot of like Star Wars content, but they have done like serious challenge, like no death runs for Jedi Fallen Order and a few other things. And I think they did Berserker Kazan. I played Berserker Kazan too, but they did it on much more harder levels and stuff. So Yeah, I like watching them, but usually it takes for me to watch those things as somebody I know. But yeah. But anyway, we'll get into it. Zelda OOT, yeah, that was good for sure. You got to know you're better than the challenge and not forget the, like, relive the Zelda Ocarina of Time. Yeah. The good brother. Yeah, like Fallout. Yes, Fallout, especially. I agree, story is important. Yeah, Fallout, especially if you're talking about the original one. Of course, there were I can't remember the name of the series that came out before Fallout, but Fallout took inspiration from another series, and at the time, and it was almost 1-to-1, but Fallout got a lot of the credit because it kind of nailed down a lot of those mechanics that later became, popular and beloved. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I do appreciate challenges. Especially like speed runs. Speed runs are really interesting because speed runs aren't just like how fast can you do it. There's a lot of nuance to understanding the mechanics of the game, the zones you're in, and knowing the game so well that you can skip certain sections. Like, it's just not necessary to do those things. To me, that's on the surface, you would say, it's a game. I want to play the game. I want to experience what's in the game. But speedruns do appreciate the game because they've played the game so much that they know what's in it. They know what's in it, what's not in it. And the trick is to get to that pixel, to that other pixel, to that other pixel, because other people have done that at a certain time frame or a certain whatever. And then maybe you have a different technique that's slightly more risky, but the payoff is bigger. It's just so much things going on with a speed run. So for me, I feel like I have to know a game really well to kind of, understand it. But yeah, back in the day, I mean, Nintendo inadvertently created speedruns when they were doing like Metroid. Because if you finish Metroid fast, then you had certain parts of the suit for Samus to come off. We didn't know Samus was a female. We didn't know until we did it a certain speed. We said, "Oh, the helmet came off. Oh, interesting. She's got blonde wavy hair. Okay." Then you got better at it and you got, went through it faster. Suddenly, she's in a bikini. So we created our own speed runs just so that we could see Samus in a bikini. But yeah. Do you play Battlefront 2? No, I haven't. So I played Battlefront Star Wars a long time ago when it first came out, the original one. But yeah, it broke my heart when I found out that she was a chick. Really, I thought it was great. I found it that was amazing for me because I was a big. I loved Alien, like Ripley and Alien, and my dog's name is Ripley. Well, we have 3 dogs at the moment, so one of them is named Ripley. So I was a big fan of Sigourney Weaver in that. So the female heroine has always been like a really interesting character for me. It's not always like necessary for a story, as long as the story fits for the character in the narrative. But Samus being female, and then you start picking up the lore of where, especially in the Japanese comics, that kind of piece together where everything came from. It's just so good. The lore for Metroid is so good until they kind of ruined it with some of the other games that kind of came out. Some of them aren't even really considered canon anymore, even by Nintendo, because they're just so off the beaten path. But the most recent ones with like Dread and things like that, oh man, just so good. And in case you didn't know, like those big pauldrons that she has, the reason why they're so big, and it's always kind of bothered me a little bit, but the reason why they're so big is because when you played it on the what is it, the little handheld, the Nintendo I forget the name of it. I always forget the name of it. Game Boy, the Game Boy. You didn't have all the colors that you had in the console version. So the way that they separated the suits is by giving her like those ball looking things. That's the way you could differentiate what the suit was, because they didn't have the color spectrum that they had in the consoles. So that kind of carried over into other titles. So now when you see like the big suits now with the big pauldrons with the suit now, that's where that came from. From the canon, it kind of carried over, unfortunately, is simply because of a lack of color. It's just kind of wild how some of that lore stuff carries into the modern day. Yeah. No, but I've always loved the female character heroine. Like Lara Croft in Tomb Raider. I was a big Tomb Raider fan when it came out, but I played it all on PC, so they weren't PlayStation exclusives or anything. They came in triangle boxes at the game store, or it was really just the computer store. They didn't really, well, they had game stores, but they were more console specific. But if you wanted to get a PC game, you went to like just a computer store, but they always came in those triangle boxes, and I played the hell out of the original Tomb Raiders. And yeah, I always loved Laura, that fighter, And so the reboot series that came out, I was a big fan of that too. I didn't like how they made her almost too naive. She is very smart though. I get that she's not experienced and has a lot of worldly wisdom, but she is very smart. So they kind of almost made it seem like, oh, she has to, like, now everything's revealed to her. Like, I didn't know that could even be possible. It was just a little bit like she was always in awe of everything. I'm like, no, it's Laura. She's gonna have a quick brain when it comes to like, look, this is my situation. This is what I got to do. Okay, so that does that. So let's try to do this. I just always loved Laura. But yeah, says I never played Tomb Raider or anything like that because of the main character being a girl. Metroid only game I played with the girl character. Just can't get myself into a chick character. Well, for me, it's not like a role play thing. Like, I don't ever get into like this is my character. Like, this is me in that world. I always see it from a very third party point of view. And so for me to see that world from their perspective is very enlightening for me. So, I love Kratos. Kratos is another character. The original God of War was just fantastic. It was one of the first few games that kind of came out that said, hey, if you go, it's really an action game well, let me put it this way. It's a puzzle game in the disguise of an action game. Because the God of War series, even the reboots, you'll notice like you're having to do this puzzle, you're having to do that puzzle, you're having to go around here, trying to go there, and then you find like this little hidden thing. God of War was one of the original games that kind of rewarded you for exploration, to find this little hidden area and say, oh, if I hit this wall, this will happen, then I can go through that wall and do that. So I love Kratos, but he fits the narrative, he fits the character. So having female characters or not is not a big deal for me. I prefer to see female characters in certain games just because I think it fits the narrative better. And I can kind of separate myself from that being me in the game versus this is just a story. It's like a book that I'm reading. It's the way the authors intended. So if we criticize games for saying, hey, look, not... I could bring up a whole myriad of games very recently, but if we said each one of them is romanceable, like Baldur's Gate, for instance, Baldur's Gate 3, that's okay because it gives you flexibility. But games like Cyberpunk, who said, no, if you're a male character, you can't romance River. If you're a male character, you can't romance Judy. Okay. But see, that was a writer's choice, and you have to kind of almost respect like the direction of the writer based on the world they're trying to create, because they're so focused on creating a world that fits certain people's ideas of the world and their preferences. Maybe one like for instance, Jackie, he likes a certain drink a certain way. That's very specific. And so you're creating a world. And so that's the writer's gift of coloring the world around them. So whether it's a male character, female character, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to convey a world based on that person's point of view. And I love kind of discovering that and exploring that. And so I do think that whether it's a male character, female character, it's really indifferent to me. I just want it to fit the world that they're in. And it kind of gives you a fresh take of a perspective that you may not have had before. So if you kind of like transplant yourself into that situation, then there's a lot of joy there. There's a lot of fun with that. But any game can really kind of redo that. It takes a unique game for you to want to learn that other aspect of it while it tells a good story, you know? But yeah, it's a take on like listening to man, but I gotta have to go take care. All right, no problem. It's fair. Take on the third person. Good night, bro. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I've never seen games as me being in those games ever. I never have. But then again, you know, when I grew up, there wasn't any like first person games until Doom. You know, you had Doom came out and it was interesting, and you had Doom Guy, you know, but there was no personality there. He just ran around, killed a bunch of demons. But when we were growing up, everything was, you know, looking at a scrolling screen. So, you know, Castlevania, Metroid, or even the sports games, football, ice hockey, whatever we had, it was always on a scrolling scene. So it was never one that you ever took, you know, that's me or something. That's an interesting, or even like Kid Icarus or something. Extremely difficult game, you know. Oops, we got logged out. I've been talking too much. But we'll get into this, and we'll continue the Old Republic with this Nisha Vedanax. And like I said, we're near the end of it. We are on Corellia, which, as I mentioned before, I believe that's Han Solo's home world, which is much further in the future from the Old Republic here. But I do believe this is Han Solo's core world, home world, and that's what's going on at the moment is that it's a battlefield. The Republic and the Empire are fighting each other. There's skirmishes all over the planet. So everywhere we go, it's kind of a battle zone. So it's kind of unfortunate because Corellia obviously would have been a very beautiful city, but we only get to see it from all the scars and stuff. And you go through all these different like areas that are skirmishes. And I do remember that being on the Republic side was a little bit easier at first, and then it becomes more difficult as you progress. And then if you're on the Empire side, it's kind of tricky at first, and then it eases up. But anyway, let's kind of get into it. I've been yapping way too long. Yeah, we're 26 minutes into it, and I haven't even started. So I came back to the ship because I wanted to get my rest XP, and we have it, and we're going to go back. We're going to bring in Nadia again. Nadia. I love Nadia. She's great. She's not one of those whiny Jedi acolytes that she could have been written that way. She's somewhat naive. You can mold her. However, if you want to make her more dark side, you definitely can. But I do appreciate that she is very powerful in the Force, and she knows it, but she's also willing to accept your teachings. Whether you want to guide her to the dark side or guide her to the light side, you definitely can. But I do appreciate that she's not so like, I guess like Nira from Baldur's Gate 2. I talked about her a little bit with Banana on our most recent podcast episode that's coming out tomorrow. Nira is, to me, very annoying. She's extremely capable. I love the wild magic that she does, but it's not her optimism that gets me. It's just her extreme naivety. She's just to a fault. That's not Nadia, though. This Nadia is willing to accept she doesn't know everything, but she does get herself into some mind traps where she assumes too quick. But that's why I like her so much, is because there's a real character there. let's go to our taxi. And we're gonna, you know what? I've already done the quick travel. Oh, and let's do this. Let's pick up our heroics. I may not do them, but the heroics allow us to quick travel throughout the planet if we don't have the quick travel whatchamacallit, the kiosk or whatever it is. So you'll see on the main map here now, like there's a heroic here, there's a heroic up here, there's a heroic right here, and so any quest that takes us, like here's a heroic right here, and I'm trying to get right there, you see. Now what I'm going to do this time, yeah, actually let's take this biological warfare. This is a perfect example. We're going to take this one so that it takes us right by the quest where we need to be. But there's also this worker tenements. This is an undiscovered quick travel location. We got to do that real quick. So let's do this one. This will save us a lot of time. That's why I said there's a quick travel site real close. What is that? Is that a lore item? That's a lore object, yeah. Let's get that real quick. Should be able to get it without aggroing anybody. There we go. Okay, so right here is a trooper phase. Let's see if we can't get to that quick travel slot, because like I said, you never know, we may have to come back this way. It'll save us a lot of trouble to, because you can't keep reusing those heroics quick travel buttons. They have a cooldown of about like an hour, maybe 30 minutes. Yeah, I need to go this way, and then I hope it curves around back to the south. Corellia is designed very much like the DLC, the Hutt Cartel planet. It's not really a planet. I think it's like an asteroid. I think. We can squeak by these guys. Yeah. Yeah. Good thing I'm a high enough level that I'm not aggroing everybody. But you kind of see what I'm saying. Like, everything's so far away that if you have your quick travel slots, it just saves you a lot of time. So I'm trying to gather them when I see them. Oh no. Total wrong direction. How do we get there? I bet you if we went the other way, it's real hard to see. I bet you if we went the other way, there would be like a road there. But it's so hard to tell. Maybe if we went this way. Oh, there's a chest. Oh, you know what? This is annoying. Okay. It's a shame that the security chests and stuff don't really matter as much anymore. They just give you supplies of that you don't really want or need. They're like components or something. Whereas back when the game first came out, having a chest, I mean, it may have gotten you like a great item that you would, man, that's really what I want. That's really what I need. They're mainly components now. But we'll just go for a ride. Yeah, actually for challenges, the only real challenge thing I've been doing lately is, of course, I run Insanity on Mass Effect. I did a no death run for Mass Effect 1, which is very doable, and I could probably do that again. My channel was originally started with Mass Effect as its main content. So I'm not opposed to coming back to that. Yeah, this is the way. However, the problem I have is that I've played so much Mass Effect over the years that I really have to do something very different to make it interesting. And I'm such a story-focused person that there's not much that I can do. Well, I'm sure there's a million things I could do, but there's not much I can think of that would, I don't know, make it interesting for viewers. I mean, there's got to be something, right? I mean, I've done a no death run already on Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 2 is so difficult, far more so than Mass Effect 3 as a not a hit list, but a no death run. Just because you start off at base level. I mean, you can carry over some levels, but you don't have the powers. So you can't really, you don't have the good equipment, you don't have the powers, your level is really just more or less health, so you just die just right away. Because the enemies you face are the same level at the beginning as they are at the end. It's just, they come at you differently. Like, for instance, you're not going to run across a Banshee or something at the beginning of Mass Effect 2. They show up later. So they're tankier and they're more deadly. They can one-shot you because if they grab you, it's instant death. You run across brutes fairly early on, but not in a way that it makes it, you know, very hard to do. Well, wait a minute, I'm thinking Mass Effect 3. Yeah, Mass Effect 2 is you don't run across brutes at all. Yeah, you don't run across brutes at all. But no, Mass Effect 2 is a little different because it kind of amps it up a little bit as far as like the type of enemies you run across. So it's really just hard for me to kind of think of what would be a good challenge run for, you know, something like that. I don't really know. Because I've done it as a biotic. I've done it as my favorite as an infiltrator. I've done it as, only thing I really haven't done is a soldier, but that's almost cheating. I mean, it's kind of easy. You don't have to really use your powers much. You just shoot at everything. It's not that tricky. But yeah. Sentinel's unique only because it's difficult to do because the squad mates you take with you, you're going to be limited because you're kind of a hybrid character, and your party members are going to be, unless they're like Liara, who's a pure biotic, they're going to be hybrid characters mostly too, especially in Mass Effect 1. The only one who really isn't is Ashley. Ashley and Liara. Well, Tali is an engineer, of course, but Tali's kind of like a cheat code. You know, if you kind of know the characters and what they're capable of doing, Tali's a cheat code. Yeah, she's S tier not because of her character, but also the abilities that she brings to the table. So I'm gonna go this way. Leave me alone. They're gonna attack me. I knew it. I knew it.
You're all right.
Yeah, that scanner droid was the problem. But no, I mean, I would love to come back to a Mass Effect run. I just don't know exactly what I would do that would make it challenging. I tell you what, though, me and Calm and Banana, last time we had our conversation together, we did discuss. There's a lot of stuff in Twitter that the BioWare Mass Effect game director has been posting. Like, he'll comment on some people's sites about like something with the multiplayer, this or that, and he'll make a comment about it. And I told that to Calm. I was like, and Banana, that's kind of interesting, because I do wonder if is this a hidden door? No, but it could have been. And that's really interesting because they didn't include the multiplayer in Legendary, which is a shame, because that is one of my, I mean, it's easily my favorite not PvP, it's PvE for sure, but it's definitely like the co-op online game squad mechanic stuff, and it is just so good. And it's just a shame that they didn't include it. Wait a minute, what happened? Why did it switch buttons on me? See, I had everything locked down. Again, the damaged scanner droid. Okay. Anyway, what I was saying is that he was been talking about the PvP stuff, and so it made me wonder, is like, are they going to bring back the PvP like as a free? It better be free, because I mean, if I have to pay for it, I will. But I think as an act of good faith, after all the issues BioWare's had and stuff, they probably can't afford it. But I mean, they need to make a free DLC to offer the online co-op. I keep wanting to call it PvP, but that's not what it is. But you could play as a Volus. You could play as a myriad of different things. There's this one called a Juggernaut. You're human, but you have this extra armor on you. Depending on your weapon choice, I mean, you shoot fairly slow, but you have a rocket launcher on your sleeve, so it's kind of like you're the Predator, but you walk around really slow. But the point is that you're kind of like a walking tank. That one was a lot of fun too. And there's just like these subcategories within the game. I wonder if I can't squeak by here. You know what? There we go. Nice. And so the online mode was just amazing, which they didn't include in the Legendary, but we were talking like if they were to ever add that, yeah, you would definitely probably see me, Calm, and Banana play that quite a bit. That would be a great challenge. With Legendary, of course, with this account, I don't have everything unlocked, but I have unlocked everything in Mass Effect 3 for the online stuff. You know, because what you had to do, you could get loot. They were loot crates. So when you did like a bronze level, silver level, gold level, or platinum, you would get these loot crates at the end, and they had just random things inside of it. But of course, the more the higher level tier that you ran, the more loot boxes you could purchase through in-game currency, basically. And I had unlocked everything, so it was a ton of fun. That one I miss doing. I would love to play that again and do challenges with that, like Volus only run or something.
I have warned you enough. Stay back. I will not allow more lives to be lost.
As I told you, we're...
Oh, hey, Banana.
Can you talk to him?
Working on timestamps in the description. Oh, I appreciate that, Banana. Yeah, just no rush. You know, no rush on that. I appreciate it.
We are friends. Remember, a Jedi listens first and strikes only if necessary.
So these people are with you, Master. I couldn't quite believe it. Not after today.
It hasn't been a good day for any of us.
I am Jari Orez. We are all that's left of the Defenders. Like Aelin says, we can never... The Council entrusted Guardian Hold 6 to me, and My friend, Aelin Calder. Just another battle together, we said. And it was at first.
Go on when you're ready.
Thank you, Master. Aelin and I were checking the sentries, just talking when he attacked me. Not with his blaster, with the Force, like a Sith. When I could stand again, he was killing our soldiers. I tried to stop him. Now Guardian Hold 6 belongs to the Empire. How could Aelin do this? Even as we dueled, I felt no darkness. Nothing.
It's not your fault. Aelin was a sleeper agent placed by the Sith.
I didn't think the situation could be any worse. The Imperials occupy the main factory. They're making military walkers, building their own reinforcements. We must shut down the production line. But Guardian Hold 6 is a fortress with no way inside.
You escaped with many wounded. How?
In the fighting, a wall junction exploded and overloaded the security grid, but the junction will be repaired by now.
If the wall itself was damaged in the blast, it could be breached.
Yes. Your forces could break through the wall and distract the walkers. Then you could slip in and stop production. But your soldiers will suffer heavy losses.
The sooner I stop the walker production lines, the safer they will be. I imagine Balmora's droids know what to do with walkers.
Indeed. They'll crack the wall for you, then take those walkers apart.
Here are the codes to shut down the production line. And Master, Aelin is still somewhere inside. Please, if you find him, try to help him. May the Force be with you both.
This is that classic Mass Effect, well, I should just say BioWare. Mass Effect, Baldur's Gate, where more of the companions and the allies you made along the way are now helping you near the end. Baldur's Gate 3 did the same thing. You kind of like have all your groups together. They took that model and applied it here, so you get to see it here too. I mean, obviously we went to Balmora, we got in good with those people, and now they're going to help us with some of these issues on Corellia. So let's see here. So it's not too far. This is basically where we came from. No. I'm trying to avoid conflict, not because I'm worried about these guys. The distraction just is unnecessarily going to take longer. Where were we? Let's go here. God, another one of these. Jeez. Same group. Okay. All right. Let's get back to it. Where were we? Yeah, definitely faster to get on our mount. So tomorrow, I'm going to be working with a skeleton crew because Monday is a holiday. So everybody's off tomorrow at work. So I'm going to hopefully try to go in to work early, which I rarely do. And then this way? I think it's this way. No, it's this way. So that way I can get off of work. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I'm hoping I can just get off of work as early as possible. Then I can kind of like get some stuff done. And then I can maybe spend the rest of the night finishing this storyline for this character. Trust me, there's a lot more story in this game. But the storylines for the classes end with, you know, the with this portion. I will say there is some stuff in the DLC I do believe that does involve the classes, but I don't remember what they are. But I do remember there's some. But as you advance further into the story and the DLCs, it becomes less about the class and more about just the story.
Jedi, do you read? Our droids have made it inside Guardian Hold 6.
How many droids did we lose, Ty?
Jedi, the battle's not over. The droids report one of the Imperial Walker crews followed them and activated hostile units on the factory floor. Our droids are having a tough time. Anything you can do?
Alert the droids that friendly forces are coming.
Good, good. I can't send any more in time. Just come as fast as you can.
My friends.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know when I muted myself. Yeah, I did see that YouTube wanted to default our thumbnail to somebody who's actually super attractive. And there's like 55 minutes of me and Banana, and YouTube was like, you know what? How about we try something else? Okay. Let's see. Go down here. But one thing I will say, and I don't really know if I like it or not, but when the SWTOR, as you go deeper into this game, I don't know if some of these quests that you do are, they're very creative. I just don't know if I like them. Because there's a few of them where you're doing, like, let's say you're in this area here. You have to unlock something, and so that way it forces a little robot or like a mouse droid to go over to this way, and you have to go there undetected and this and that. So it's not just a fetch quest, it's a fetch quest with extra errands. And I like the concept, I just don't always like just, you know, it's like a skill check on top of just a regular fetch quest. And I think it was just, I think the spirit is good. I just don't know if it's necessary. Just don't make a fetch quest, I guess, is what I'm saying. Oh, and my buff ran out, so let's put a new one on. I don't know if I need to clear this room, but I'm gonna clear this room.
Take it slow for a while.
But yeah, as we get further into this game, it becomes less class specific. There are moments where your class is, you know, relevant again. It makes for a neat story. Yeah. Getting game audio but no mic. Yeah, well, I think I was muted, but I don't remember actually muting myself. I will say, before I started, I had a ton of OBS problems out of nowhere. I haven't had OBS issues in months, and then today I started it. I hit, you know, go live, and then I don't know when it happened, but OBS crashed on me, and so I restarted it, and yeah, I restarted OBS, and then I had to do the start normal mode versus safe mode, and then my chat wasn't there, and so I closed it again. I had to do like a Control-Alt-Delete to close it, and it was just acting up. It was acting a fool. So I did it one more time. I was like, I don't have time to reboot my PC all over and diagnose this issue. So I said, I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to open up OBS, and then it had some of the settings that were changed from what I left it on, and which happens. But even some of the stuff I thought were off, it toggled back on. So it was very weird. So it may have muted me, even though I didn't mute myself, is the point of all that.
I knew it would be you. Did Jari beg you to save me? Jedi
Do you like
stomp on one and another comes scuttling back in.
story quests in general? Darthus Kunis. I was trying to make sure I read your name right. Oh, story quests? Absolutely. I love story quests in general, for sure. It's just there's so many fetch quests in this game, and I think a lot of them are done really well in the Shadow of Revan DLC. It's just I don't know if the story is all that great. And then you have like the Hut Cartel DLC, which I think actually the Hut Cartel DLC is not the best story, but again, I think a lot of the missions and the stories quests there are great. You you're going to certain areas, you're doing certain things, you're shooting planes out of the sky. It's really neat. I really like how that happens. So it's a fetch quest, but done in a very good way. But as you go into the Eternal Throne, it's just clear the area, you know, just do this, and it doesn't really feel good, you know? So, I mean, that's my 2 cents. I mean, if somebody loves the Eternal Throne DLC, that's fine. I don't like the Eternal Throne DLC until you're actually done dealing with the Eternal Throne issue. I don't want to give any spoilers just yet, but the Eternal Throne DLC is almost kind of like its own game. Not because it's so lengthy, which it is, but it has its own main portion. Plus, you could also say that it has its own DLC and DLC since then. So they did it kind of like in an episodic manner. So it's like, you know, episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, when they did like certain updates. And that episodic method caused me to not even remember what the previous thing I did. So now when you go back and do it, it should feel a little bit more streamlined. And so when I did the Eternal Throne most recently, it seemed a little bit better, but I still like when the Eternal Throne issue is finished and then you're actually doing the stuff on the back end of it. So, but yeah. So yeah, but no, in general, I love these story quests. That's why I'm actually doing this one. I do love running the class quests. They're so much fun. That rat was your ally?
Jari was a loyal comrade who fought by your side.
And tortured me with his constant goody two-shoes sniveling. I know what you did to Blasis and Gieland and Sophia Farish. I'm not losing Guardian Hold 6 to a monster like you.
I took no pleasure in it. They forced my hand.
Lucky for me, I get to enjoy my duties. Took me a while to find the master startup code, but it was worth it. This is for my brothers and sisters.
She goes, eh. But see, like, this is great. It's a story-driven quest, and you got to see all that happening, and now we're in a different, like, we're outside of the zone we were just in. I mean, it's great. It's great storytelling. The cinematic method of delivery for this game, which is an MMO. Remember, this is an MMO. You don't get this in MMOs. You get a question mark and an exclamation mark when you get done. It's up to you if you want to read anything about what you did. Now, World of Warcraft has included some cinematic stuff, but it doesn't compare. Yeah, it is unfortunate that the fighting mechanics in this game are inferior to Warcraft, but again, the storytelling in this game is just phenomenal. Yeah, I've always felt that way, and I'm biased. I'm a 15-year subscriber, so I am biased. Yeah, sorry. I love the Kotfitosori and the Kotet, but dealing with Sky Troopers at the I'm sorry. Yeah, almost every step is. You are so right about that. That's exactly what I was talking about. So when you're doing the Eternal Throne stuff, there is that issue, and I kind of mentioned that, how you're constantly having to basically clear the room. That's all you're doing, is clearing the room, clearing the room, clearing the room. And it's great because you're constantly fighting, but at some point you're kind of like, just want to, I want this portion to kind of end so I can just have that narrative experience again. Like you're and we're not grinding for levels anymore. You know, by the time you get there with your level boost and everything, you're probably 80. So we don't need to do that, you know? But to be fair, they didn't have level 80 when Eternal Throne first came out. So you did have to grind your level. I missed it. You did have to grind your level, but now we don't, you know? So I'm thinking some of that stuff could have been, you know, modified in patches and stuff. Like first run, you have to do those extra quests. Second run, it's trimmed down, you know? Just a thought.
I sense Aelin Calder has fallen. You and your curiosities have teeth. But the Republic is still crumbling. You grasp at sand, Jedi, and it slips through your fingers.
I know you can hear me, Master. The Emperor can only trap you, not destroy you.
Fascinating.
Theron Cedrax, Master Satil, Master Jarek. They know who you truly are.
Baron. And Duras Fane. My friends. Years ago.
Enough. You shall watch, CO, as your pupil suffers for this.
Yeah, the devs thought that...
Aelin? No, he can't be. Not like this. I didn't feel anything. A single day couldn't change a whole lifetime of good work. He must have become one with the Force.
So the devs thought it was a good idea to add more Sky Troopers because each chapter was released on or at that time. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it never ends. Like, they're interesting characters. The Sky Troopers that he's referencing is, the Sky Troopers are neither good or dark side or light side particularly aligned. You know, they're kind of more or less balanced. They're definitely not, as we sometimes refer to, like gray Jedis or something. That's not what a gray Jedi is. But they're not particularly using one side of the Force over another. They just use the Force as a tool. So they're very interesting characters. They're more in line of like the Jedi that come after Luke Skywalker's, after his teachings and stuff. So they're very similar like that. So it's funny how like the Eternal Throne comes full circle, where like one of the most evil Sith Lords of all time basically created a group of people that actually had the right idea of how to use the Force, or at least a balanced mindset of it. But yeah, they're all over the place, and they just come from all over. It's just nuts. You're just trying to get through what you need to do, and it's like every time you turn around, there's another one. Now, I will say this, that when you when you're playing as an Inquisitor, and I think it's Sage on the Jedi side, you do have the ability to force push, and you can make quick work of like one or two that maybe show up, and then you can just push them off the ledge. But also it's interesting because they did something really mechanically very interesting, where you could do force push, but if it was a Sky Trooper with the jetpack, he would come right back. And you don't see that in like games that have that idea. It's like, okay, you push them and you get your credit and you move on. It's like, nah, I'm coming back. That was unique to me.
In the end, dark or light, all things are a part of the Force.
Thank you, Master. That is kind. I think you turned the tide. Many of Ty Corden's droids survived the battle. If I move the wounded here and repair the wall, I believe we can hold Guardian Hold 6 ourselves. The Republic needs its troops in Axial Park.
Where is Axial Park?
Nearby. The most beautiful parkland in the Republic. Until the first bombs fell. Another of our fortresses, Guardian Hold 4, is in Axial Park. We've had reports that it too has fallen to the enemy. The Republic is planning a push. They hope to overcome the Imperials and retake Guardian Hold 4 with sheer force of numbers.
Now this Guardian Hold is secure. Our place is in Axial Park.
There is a Republic safe house in Axial Park where you could hold your councils. I shall send word to your allies. Goodbye, Master. I will try to guard this place well.
All right. But I've said this a million times, but I am more aligned toward the Sith. I just find that storyline much more compelling. Whether it's the bounty hunter, the operative, or where are we going? We're going this way now. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to use this heroic. Which one is this one? This one is the Daoba Hotel. Concierge. Right here. That'll give us a faster way of getting there. I forgot what I was saying. Sorry. This is the zoo area, I believe. Yeah, I think this is the zoo area. It's kind of neat. See, there's this Accolade right there. He's a champion. Back in the day, if you did this one, you would probably going to get some really good rewards, but now, not so much. Just components. But oh no, I was saying that I'm more on the Imperial side of. I understand where everything is on when I play Imperial. I don't remember Republic hardly at all, so this is almost like a new playthrough for me. So let's go unlock this fast travel site, and then we'll go to the next part of the map. I remember when me and my wife first played this map area and we did the zoo. I think there is a world boss in it, or one that I don't remember. He kind of just patrols inside that area, and we tried him and we just got wrecked. We tried to get some people to do it with us. Like I said, I don't know if it was a world boss, but it sure, in my mind, it seems like there was a world boss there. I could go up there and check if this is the same area. But yeah, he just kind of patrols. It's just... What was that? Okay. Yeah, I think that's the zoo over there, right? That way. I think. I could be wrong. I've been wrong a lot. In the from again, it's Republic. I don't remember. No, that's just a road. Escaped Accolade. But yeah, there was a zoo here, and this is where they kept a lot of the animals, and then the animals got out and they're making mayhem all over. I don't remember. Maybe, oh, it's right here, right in the middle of the map. It's like straight that way. That's the zoo right there. You can kind of see it on the middle of the map. But I got to go this way, so we're going to go this way. But this is so cool. Like, this is what I was saying. It's like a big battle war zone everywhere. And this is how the game looked when it first came out. So it just had this neat little immersive storytelling planet of Corellia. And I really would have liked to have seen it before all this, and then you come back to the planet at a later chapter, and maybe you're just in a different part of the planet, and now it looks like this. But that would have been kind of cool, so you get to see the before and after. But, you know. Sorry. Missed some chat here. Jedi Knight has all the ingredients to fall into the dark side, and later DLC agreeing with the Sith. Yeah, I know. So even some of the... If you look at some of the companions that you have, you're very easy to kind of see both sides of things early, you know? And I do appreciate that they gave you that option, you know, and then they kind of, you could lean into it. I will say this, on the Sith side, when especially the Inquisitor, you could start to question things if you want to. It's not like when you play the Sith Warrior, you tend to be like full dark side. The writing is written in a way that you kind of lean into it. I mean, you're the wrath, the right hand of the Emperor. You know, you don't, if you finish it all the way through in your light side, you could still be that. It just doesn't make sense, right? But when you're the Inquisitor, you can kind of think for yourself a little bit more. Although the Inquisitors I have made have usually been full dark side. I saw you lurk in there, Perry. I appreciate that. Lurkers make the stream dream work, y'all. I think it's this way. But yeah, I have leveled up every class in this game, but yeah, we're going the right way. But I love the Imperial side. I love the storytelling. I love the ability to make decisions that are just pure evil. I'm drawn toward the evil characters in a lot of games. And sometimes it just doesn't fit, right? Sometimes it just doesn't, you know, work with the character that you have. But I love the Drow, and the Drow in the alignment system are evil, but most of them are like more like chaotic evil. If they're lawful evil, it's kind of rare, not because they couldn't be lawful evil. It just doesn't fit kind of who they are. And so I kind of like that. I like that little bit of flexibility that it comes with that. And then I'm trying to think of a good example here, but yeah, a lot of those characters that I love in roleplay stuff is more like the open alignment, so that I can be evil and then maybe have an arc where I don't want to be evil, or I'm good and I turn evil. Cyberpunk is great for that because there's no alignment system, but you can most definitely make evil choices in that game. And Johnny Silverhand tends to just kind of critique you either way, good or bad. I mean, I just love that. It's just so your decision. That's, for me, Cyberpunk is such a masterpiece in storytelling, not unlike The Witcher 3. Witcher 2 was good, but it's much more linear, of course. I need to stop yapping and play the game. I'm sorry, y'all.
You made it through. Did the Republic have any information about Guardian Hold 4?
Bad news.
Guardian Hold 4 is far worse than the last one. I hope you're ready to hear this. Guardian Hold 4 used to be a small manor called Bakvalen Hall. Now it's bristling with defenses, turrets, force fields. But after someone betrayed Guardian Hold 4 from the inside, it's all protecting the enemy.
At first I thought he said Baklava Hall, and I was like, oh, Baklava Hall? Sounds delicious.
If the betrayer is another child of the Emperor, capturing them might give us a way to the First Son.
The Republic gave us information on Guardian Hold 4's defenses. They're serious. First, the Hold has an early warning system. Sensors across the park report any approaching enemies. Then, a force field protects the courtyard, and past that, the main door is Durasteel, locked with a full security system.
I love making Jedi Knight starting on Republic side light. Oh, okay, yeah. With good intentions, but because of betrayal, lying, and deception from our own master makes us question. Yeah, you're not wrong. I love that too. And of course, when you're playing on the Sith side, there's nothing but betrayal, so you're kind of used to it. So it seems more natural to just kind of lean into it. But yeah, I'm doing a playthrough right now. I'm thinking I'm gonna probably turn it into kind of, I don't know if I want to turn it into a let's play or a kind of like a game breakdown. You know how like you take a game that is like, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 hours long, and you kind of break it up into an hour-long video. I'm thinking about doing something like that, which I've never done. But I think I may do that on a particular character that I just made, and I've been doing a bunch of B-roll footage for it. But I don't know how to exactly present it, because it definitely won't be a let's play, but it'll be more of a, like I said, me reacting to the game. But I know this game so well that it's not going to shock me, but I really want to do the presentation of it in a way that would be like, oh, I'm really leaning into this character and their decisions, you know? So I'm definitely gonna have to write stuff down, but I also want to make it feel natural, you know? So
we have sensors to disable, a force field to take down, and a main door to unlock.
That force field is a major problem. I can't think of any way past it.
Jedi, you destroy the sensors. Imperials will drop the force field to investigate.
Have you foreseen the Imperials will do this?
Not seeing. Knowing.
Once the sensors are destroyed, a surprise attack would put our people past the force field. So we need, say, a red team to ambush the Imperials that come out after the force field is lowered.
Red team must be strong. Imperials will fight hard.
I'd welcome any insights you have.
Send commandos.
That leaves the main door. With the force field down, we can get to the power generators. We disable them, the big door unlocks. We should assign a blue team to disable those generators. A very small group would work.
Your droids would make short work of security.
We can spare a couple.
Teams will need your help later. Blue team, protection as they work. Red team, battle support.
We have a plan. Once you destroy the sensors, go to Guardian Hold 4 to help your team. Are you ready?
Yeah. But like I said, there's a lot of like this in these BioWare games where you're doing the war table, you know, you're bringing old allies into the fray again. It's really immersive. So if you're keeping up with the story and you're really kind of enjoying some of, like, I love the Voss. The Voss are like I would love to be able to have the Voss as a playable race. I kept thinking that's what they were going to do. I'm thinking, okay, we have like the Chiss, who are typically Imperial. They lean into the Imperial side, dark side. Let's do something that's similar, but instead of being more technical like the Chiss, we can make them more mystical and leaning into the light side. They can be both, but they lean into the light side a little bit. They're just slightly skewed that way, whereas the Chiss are slightly skewed to the dark side. I thought they were perfect complements to each other. You know, it's like in World of Warcraft, you had paladins originally in Classic on the Alliance side, and then you had the shaman for the Horde. Great. Two sides of the same coin. Who cares about balance, right? Just they're fun because they have their own lore and they have their own reasons. It's a game design. It's fine. It is what it is. And I would have loved to see the Voss as one side and the Chiss be the other, you know? But we never got the Voss. And it's possible because the Voss are a little bit taller. You know, they're just slightly taller than average. I think they're about like 7 feet. So that would have made for maybe some issues. But man, I just would have loved to see the Voss as a playable character at some point, or playable race. Future updates. Like maybe like the Revan DLC or something.
I am. And may the Force be with us.
Oh, how
long have I been playing SWTOR? So I turned off all my nameplates and stuff, but I mean, I've been a subscriber for 15 years because it's been live for 15 years, but I actually was part of the alphas and all the betas. So I've been playing this game for a very, very, very long time. Before this game, of course, I was playing Warcraft, and I did a few of the betas for Warcraft. Before that, I was playing Star Wars Galaxies. So I'm not this big MMO person, but when I have an MMO that I love, I play it to death, and I still play this one. I keep talking about this game quite a bit on our podcast, because I think it's a special game. It's very unique. If you love RPGs, just in general, just role-play games, this game has storytelling in droves. It's just all over the place. Once you get done with the original storyline, then you can do other stuff. And it's not just that it's in game. even the operations you do have stories that they tell within the operation. So yeah, you can just run a flashpoint, but if you actually go to the quest giver guy who gives you the chain, who goes here, and then you talk to the people that are in the base or whatever, sometimes that you have to have the conflict with the main boss or the enemy. There may be even a banter that you have with them at the time. None of that is necessary for an MMO, but this game says, you know what? It's fine. It's an RPG and we're going to get you immersed. So this game is very special. What are your feelings on the Darth Jadis? Remind me, Darth Jadis. So, are we talking about like I'm trying to remember because I haven't, since I've been doing in-game stuff, I haven't gone back and revisited some of the newer. So 1 second here. I'm trying to remember if I could see her. I'm going to look her up real quick. Or him. No, it's a her, isn't it? No, it's a guy. That's right. So what I'm trying to remember with Jadis. Are you referring to the portion at the beginning, or are you referring to when he becomes over the council for like the operative? What is it? The operative. Yeah, the operative storyline, right? That's the one you're referring to though, right? Because if I remember right, it's been a while since I did the operative storyline. But he kind of, what I remember is that he took over and you're still, doing your thing to help the Empire, but he's trying to manipulate his way to the top at the same time. And so you're inadvertently helping him, take power. But I don't know if you're referring to that or anything else that may have been constructed afterwards from a lore standpoint. Yeah, he was part of the Imperial agent. Yeah, I said operative, but agent. I think it's a very unique storyline because, again, whereas a lot of storylines you would think like with the bounty hunter stuff, it's very specific to bounty hunter stuff, right? You would think with the agent you would be dealing with more of the administrative side of the Empire, but the Darths are in control, so he is the one who's still the puppet master. And then you have to make decisions based on, their control. So it's just been a while since I did the agent, but I do think the agent storyline is so good. You get to, I told Banana this before, that I think probably if me and him played together in this game, that I really think he would like the agent storyline because it lets you have agency over the, light side, dark side. It's a case to case basis. It's like you get a mission, you can choose to spare some people, you can like let them just die. It's the easier thing to do, but there's definitely some consideration as to what you're doing. It's not just an undercover agent just doing nefarious things. They kind of give you some choices there. So I've always thought the agent was a great example of this game letting you kind of decide what you want to do and how you want your character to be not only portrayed in the universe, but how you want to feel about your character when they're fulfilling their missions. I thought this was closer, but it's way on the south side. But maybe it'll let me go by this zoo here. So, storyline, he disappeared? Oh, is that what you're referring to? Okay, so I think I remember hearing something about that. So let me see what else you're saying. In my humble opinion, I think Darth Jadis is the puppet master. Well, that's kind of what I said before, right? He's kind of like that puppet master who's working a lot of those strings, and you're inadvertently helping him, gain leverage. So that's a good point. I mean, you're probably right. But that's the nice thing about this game, is that it leaves enough little holes in the story that lets you have your own interpretation. Of course, I've told Banana before too that, you know, I'm not big on open interpretation for lore. That's not how lore works. There should be an explanation why things are the way they are, but if you leave it open intentionally because you're saying we're going to come back to this and it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a doozy when we return to it, that's lore. You can kind of connect those dots. But yeah, I don't remember everything when it comes to the agent storyline at the end game. I do remember you get to kind of like be your own person at the end of it. And so Jadis's involvement, I don't remember if it's actually significant. Disable the sensors. What sensors? What's oh, okay. There they are. And the cool thing is that when you run with somebody, like a friend, or like with me and my wife, we did the Inquisitor storyline together. When, let's say, somebody's doing agent, and I don't know, even if you're also doing an agent, you get to make your own choices during that story. So they're not really influencing that decision unless you're doing like a side quest or something. Then the choices there, the dialogue options are like whoever does the dice roll. You know, you can say I want to like kill everybody in the room, whereas the other option would be like, no, we're just going to incapacitate them. Whoever wins the dice roll wins the conversation, you know. But as far as the class stuff goes, it doesn't, you know, you can still make your own decisions, and whoever you do it with is, you know. Where are these sensors? Oh, one thing I did really enjoy, and I forget which, if it was a DLC or just a are these sensors, is the Dreadseed quest. I love the Dreadseed quest. I did so many Dreadseed oh, there's one. Because it didn't work everywhere. You had to have this probe, and the probe you put down would say, okay, it's you're in the area, but it's over there. Or you would grab something and it wasn't very good, but your goal was to grab certain things in the Dreadseed stuff that could like either make a unique mount or get something like a unique equipment. I really like the Dreadseed thing and the whole Dreadlord stuff. I love the Dreadlord story. Man, that was my thing. I love the Dreadlord stuff. I don't remember though if that's before Revan or during Revan or what, but it seems like, if I remember right, it was in that same time period when you're completing the game. Yeah, all my characters that are like 70 and above have already finished everything. Everybody's in the Eternal Throne, so I don't remember where everything before that is. When dadgummit, where? Oh, there's one over there. This one's respawned. There we go. Yeah. Or after all, yeah. Yeah, like I said, there's this game's so good and so deep, and I can't remember everything. Maybe some people can. I can't remember everything. But there's just so many high marks in this game for me. Like, it's like, oh, I remember that part. Yeah, that was pretty good. That part wasn't so good, but this other part in that area was really good. You know? Like, the HUD cartel for me wasn't that great, but I did like a lot of the stuff in between. You know? I think the main thing I remember that I really liked about the HUD cartel was at the time when we're doing missions, you know, you got some really good rewards, and because there was the next level that we got, well, no, I think we're still level 68, but now you got this unique weapons and armor at the time that really boosted you. Yeah, it made a big difference. I did remember really enjoying the HUD cartel just for the gear that you got, and you didn't have to play like operations. And one of the best operations for me was in the HUD cartel, where you fought this big robot, and you definitely had to have a tactic going into it, but it's basically a tank and spank, and it wasn't anything super complicated, because some of the operations in this game are just unnecessarily complicated, just so unforgiving, and it's to the point that they're not fun. But that one was pretty much just this big giant robot. It almost looked like a four-legged animal. And you would have one pocket group here where you had a healer and some DPSs, and then you'd have like your tanks down there with a couple healers, and then you'd have some more ranged ones, and then you'd have these extra enemies that came out that were like were the ads. They were just ads basically, but they could come out over here, and they had to like take them out. And I forget what would happen if they actually I think they would just wreak havoc as well. So you didn't want to have a bunch of squishies all together, which would, you know, be nice. And then they'd have these missiles that would come down in certain areas. So yes, you could like pocket yourself and then like do ranged stuff, but if you just stood there, then you get attacked, which was hell for healers. So my wife was a healer. She was an inquisitor, and it was just hell for her because we would be in one spot, and then if like one of them kind of got somebody, they would be knocked back, and now that person's on the other side of the wall, and they couldn't be healed because they weren't within visual range. But what I loved about it is that everything was in one spot, and I really thought that was just a simple way of doing an operation, and I enjoyed that one. It was one of the better ones, I thought, and that was in the HUD cartel. So let's see here. Taboro's Courtyard. That's it. Taboro's Courtyard. Yeah. And Banana will tell you I'm the worst at names. I don't remember nothing. Dates I'm pretty good on. Certain weird facts, you know, I'm kind of like the Cliff Clavin of RPG sometimes, but to remember a name, yeah, I'm so bad at that. And I do believe this is where if you do Corellia in-game, I believe this is where you get to Section X. And Section X is unique because that's where you run across your HK. If you're Imperial. Blizz? I think? Or no, it's like T4 or something like the T4 unit. In Republic. So I'm over leveled, but I'm still technically under geared. So we're not like mowing through these enemies. Oh, this dude. Yeah, that whole section in the Hut Cartel where you're kind of doing the palaces that are the Hut's palaces, they're really interesting. You kind of like, there's some verticality there, and you go to one area and it's one cinematic thing. You come out, you go over here and you do another thing. It's another. So it seems bigger than what it is, but everything's pretty compact. And for whatever reason, that really felt, the pacing of it felt good. But again, I wasn't a huge fan of the Hut Cartel overall from a story standpoint, but I did appreciate how they did the quest designs more so than some of the base game was. Let's just clear the area. How about yourself? How long have you been playing this game? Because you clearly remember a lot more than I remember.
The droids report the security grid has collapsed. The main door's open. You should be able to make it inside.
Okay, so we cleared enough. Oh, but this is going to be simple. Hold on. Very good. Yeah, only 30, but it's fine. We don't need to finish them. Yeah, we were young in those days. Yeah, I remember those easy days. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it easy, hard, or whatever. But remember, there was like what was that one with the pylons? I don't think that was Hut Cartel. I think that was the Revan DLC. It was the Ricotta pylons, and so you had to have one group, like in a operation of 20, you had to have like 10 on one side, and then you did one side of the puzzle, and then the other side would have to be facing enemies, and then when that completed, the other one had to do their puzzle, and you had to, face enemies on the other side. And it was the worst because the puzzles were just really weird, and it was somewhat random. There was some randomness to what they gave you, and you had to somehow relay that to them. So if you didn't have like a voice chat, there was no way to do it. And I didn't like that. I don't like being required to have third-party sources to get a game done, Shattered Knight, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm 42 now and have started playing SWTOR when I was 28. So I am 51. And I played KOTOR when it came out. I didn't get to play it when it first came out because it was on Xbox exclusive for a couple months, 2-3 months, and then it became available on PC, which always pissed me off because I had played Baldur's Gate to death, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and I was a huge fan. And I was like, BioWare, you planted your flag on PC. You got your start because of the PC community, and then you're going to go and make this Xbox exclusive crap thing. I was mad, but I played it when I first, as soon as I got a chance, I played it, and it's still one of my favorite games of all time.
You trespass, Jedi. Guardian Hold 4 now belongs to the Emperor.
I came for a child of the Emperor.
The honored daughter is out of your reach. We will see to it. We are the Imperial Guard, the Emperor's chosen. We live and die as he commands. And his first son will secure our victory. I see your weaknesses, Jedi, and how to shatter you.
Yeah, last year I started to play KOTOR. I wish I played it sooner. So I'm going to be playing it on the weekends now. I might actually be able to finish it this weekend. But as I mentioned before, if I stream now, I'm going to try to start committing to the later time. I'm in Central Time, so 8 at the earliest, but more often than not, probably around 9 o'clock. And then at that time, I may stream for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, whatever. But I'm going to be more focused on starting it later after, like during the week, I still work full time. So I want to be able to wind down, get my stuff done around the house, take care of my mom who lives with us, and get the laundry done, take care of the dogs, make sure everybody's settled so that I can focus on the game. Whereas before I was kind of like juggling a lot of stuff. You'd see me be gone for like, 8 minutes on a break, get back and realize I still didn't refill my water. So I think from now on, I'm going to be streaming later at night. For YouTube, it doesn't almost really matter if you watch the VODs. If you're catching the VODs and seeing that playlist of the live streams for this character, that won't matter, of course. But if you're trying to catch it live, then absolutely, I'm going to be more focused on actually streaming about this time. So...
A true Jedi knows how to bend, and so can never be broken.
Empty words are no defense against us. You will never reach the honored daughter. One by one, your Republic fellows will turn. All is lost, Jedi.
Yep, we're gonna fight. Sorry.
It's okay.
Just about to respond to you. Let me get this done real quick. Oh my God. That's enough of this. Oh. I just did the thing. Are you kidding me? No. Well, let's loot you while we're at it. Okay. You got me. Oh, give me a break. I did say the most annoying thing in this game is when they melee you and knock you back. I hate that. I absolutely hate the knockback because it stuns you for a minute or two. It's like a CC. Don't like it at all. It's like, okay, I get you that you knocked me back, but don't, render me unable to recover. Because there's a little bit too much of a delay there. Yeah, my love for Star Wars actually came from KOTOR when I was first played in 2006. Yeah, I mean, like I said, KOTOR to me is just top 5 game. For the longest time, it was like top 2 for me. I do think KOTOR 2 though is the better game. Not from the polish, not from, all that stuff, but just from a writing, some of the things that it integrates into the game that KOTOR doesn't have. The flexibility of your decisions, light side, dark side, all that other stuff. The characters you meet. I think you have too many companions in KOTOR 2, but the ones that are there are just so interesting. In KOTOR, they're interesting. But you have characters like Jolie Bendu, who's interesting, but not lore. I'm trying to use my words very carefully. If he was not in the game, it would be a shame, but I still think we could connect a lot of dots without him, even if he was never there. Whereas a lot of characters in KOTOR 2, I could say people like Mira, probably the same thing, but I wouldn't want to play KOTOR 2 without Mira. Her storyline with the Wookiee is just so neat. It's so interesting. It's so immersive, and it's just not something that had to be in the story, but it's just so much better because it's there, and it helps create the structure of the story that it's trying to tell in KOTOR 2 inadvertently, about how good and evil and how like there's this constant fight, and yet somebody who has good intentions is punished for them because somebody's interpretation of it is warped. So interesting. But yeah, he wasn't lore relevant. I mean, I didn't say that because I was going to say that he wasn't lore relevant, but a lot of times people refer to him as a great Jedi. He's the only person who refers to himself as a great Jedi. It's not like your character later on or the master, the Yoda character, Vash. I can't remember his name. Like I said, I don't remember names. It's not like he referred to him as a great Jedi. Nobody refers to him as a great Jedi. Nobody in none of the literature, none of the even when SWTOR came out and it talked about like some of the companions and some of the stuff with Revan and the history of that, didn't refer to Jolee Bindo as a great Jedi. However, he does kind of meet the definition, where he's a light side user who doesn't really listen to the council. He follows what the Force says. But him not following the council wasn't because always what the Force said. He just was following his logic. So you could say he kind of meets the great Jedi, but like I said, he's not lore relevant in that. I think it's misinterpreted. He's not a great Jedi based on lore, but the lore also kind of dismisses great Jedi to begin with, you know, like they don't really actually exist. If there is a great Jedi, I mean, somebody like Ahsoka is a great Jedi. You know, she was a Jedi, a full Jedi, you know, just light side Jedi. But despite what the council or whatever else is saying, she's going to go this way because this is what the Force is telling her to do. And she's following that pattern. It's not that she's being corrupted by the dark side or anything. She's not using dark side powers. It's just that the Force is saying to go do this. So you can be a full, you know, left side, light side, whatever, you know, fully indoctrinated into that side and be a great Jedi because you're not really following what the council's missives are. Anyway, I'm talking too much again. Sorry. I get off on a tangent and I really need to stop doing that. I just like talking about lore, and I love how, like, when we talk about lore, especially on this channel, there's no such things really as absolutes, you know. I mean, if there's a interesting point, like, no, I think Jolee Bindo actually did meet 100% the definition of a great Jedi, I'm not going to argue with you. I think you might have a good point. I mean, you might be more right than I'm perceiving Jolee Bindo to be. And that's just an example, right? I don't know what you're going to say, but I think on this channel especially, it's like when we talk about lore, nothing is absolute. And if you have a perspective or opinion that I've never even seen or even heard of or even thought about, bring it up, you know, because I don't know. And the more perspectives you have on something, the more you can understand it. You know? Like, I mean, me and Banana have talked about Mass Effect and the lore for that and a whole bunch of other stuff, and I still think that the one only decision in Mass Effect, because everybody's like, oh, I don't like the ending for Mass Effect 3. I'm like, to me, you would have gotten one ending. It's destruction. That's the only ending that I would ever accept. I still think that's the canon ending, and I don't see how it could be another way. However, of course, when we're talking about lore, there's nothing in lore that says that is the canon ending. So if somebody wants to say, no, I think it's symbiosis or symbiotic or whatever the other one is, great, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that decision. It's obviously there. But for me, it's always been destruction. If we think like symbiosis is an option, well then what's his name, Nihilus was right the whole time in Mass Effect 1. He had already assimilated himself with the Geth. You know, if you look at his arm, his right arm, it's a Geth arm. He was preaching, saying, hey, look, we're going to die. All of us are going to die. We have no choice but to actually merge with I was just exploring. Hold on. I didn't mean to actually go into this room just yet. Let me clear the room and then we'll go in there. But yeah, I mean, he's already a hybrid himself. So if we believe in symbiosis, then actually ultimately Nihilus was right. So us killing him made no difference. And I think that's exactly what the Reapers want. So I don't believe that that's an acceptable option. Although, if somebody feels that that is a better option, canon option, who might argue? But that's what I love about this channel, is that we're able to kind of bring those subjects up and, you know, have discussions about it. And you can just tell me how wrong I am. Yeah, just tell me how wrong I am. Yeah. But if you think of the butterfly effect, he did affect things. Right. No doubt. No doubt whatsoever. But like I said, I think someone like Mira, who isn't as an intended impact on the character as much as Jolie Bindu is, does make a deeper impact. There are those connective storylines within her story that create a better narrative of what KOTOR 2 was trying to say. And that's something Jolie Bindu does not do. But I do appreciate Jolie Bindu's attempt to kind of give us his perspective, because he says, hey, look, you know, the Jedi are, you know, they look down on being in love and having people close to you. The attachment can lead to things like fear, and fear can lead to I don't know, anxiety. I don't know what to, because they immediately, the Jedi immediately take fear and say that leads to the dark side. Well, there has to be a few steps in between there. Fear is not necessarily dark side. I mean, I've known a lot of these storylines. There's very few Sith that are actually just fearful. But they are worried. They do worry, you know. So like Anakin was fearful of what might happen, and so he, you know, starts projecting into a world that may or may not actually happen, but he dreamed it. So because other things he dreamed also came true, this must also eventually come true, where his loved ones die, and he wants to prevent that. So he's focused on that, hyper focused on it. But Jolie Bindu says, hey, look, don't be afraid to love. It's just that it could lead to the dark side. Doesn't mean it will. That's more like in the line of a gray Jedi, because the council is saying, no, you need to avoid it at all costs. And he's saying, I'm a better person. Even though I'm not with the Jedi Order, I'm a better person now. So I think it's worth it. That's true gray Jedi thinking. Then that's why Qui-Gon Jinn was never actually a Jedi Council member. He was a master, but he had those same mindsets, those same ideas that said not everything is that black and white. They are somewhat gray.
Look, it's Master Seo. I didn't know he came from such an old family. It's not fair. He should be fighting with us. Can we go, please?
Okay. Oh, okay.
My brother said you'd be persistent, but I was almost hoping we'd meet.
Pardon my forwardness to a daughter of the Emperor, but you should not risk yourself.
But General, a chance to speak with the SWTOR herself. You were actually mentored by the first son.
My mentor was Master Seo Bakarn, a Jedi Master and a force for good.
And your first son had nothing to do with it.
You have to accept new loyalties as they come. Look at me. I was some nobody Republic corporal until the Emperor's voice called me. I was reborn. Guardian Hold 4 seemed like such a paltry gift in return.
Even if it means your death, Guardian Hold 4 must return to Republic hands.
No, it belongs to us. If you try anything, I know what would please my brother. Seeing you humbled. There's so much I could still learn from you. Especially if I leave you alive.
She did a flip. We should have cut her in half.
You're all right.
Crap. Oh no. The death field. Nadia, quit spinning around.
Let's discuss terms, gentlemen.
Position secure. Pick trustworthy guards. Security grids being fixed.
The Imperial Guard will soon return. You can't survive another onslaught.
Oh, Banana, if you're still there, did you like that intro? I wanted to make do a few other things, but you know, usually our intros are like a minute to about 2 minutes, and I was right there at 2 minutes, so I thought it was a really fun intro.
You know who I'm looking for. Are you going to cooperate?
Yes, we are.
What are you doing?
Marion, she just defeated Imperial Guardsmen and a child of the Emperor. Think. We don't know where the first son is, but there's a government bunker below Capitol Square that's been transmitting our orders. The Republic called it Guardian Hold 1.
The Sith will crush you for this, Gran.
After the Corellian government betrayed their people, the consequences of a Republic victory will be preying on their minds. So, with 2 Guardian Holds reclaimed, Corellia's key officials will be hiding in Guardian Hold 1. The first son has likely joined them.
I should bring this up at another time, but I actually met somebody very recently who has a family member, put it that way, whose name is Kylo Ren. So that was interesting. So you talk about like being a Star Wars fan. I guess there are bigger fans than I am out there. And I thought, you know, like Kylo or Kai or something. Kai is a great, you never see that name, but I always thought Kai, just KY or KYE, is a phenomenal name. It sounds really cool, and you don't see it very often. But yeah, he's Kylo Ren. So interesting.
We should see what the situation is in the Capitol Square.
A commando will see.
Another of us dead because of you. It's tragic. Both Daresh's loss and your failure. A true Jedi Master could have guided her back to the light.
So your philosophy, where you line more with the Sith or Jedi philosophy? Well, I'd like to know what you feel about your own. But for me, very in a nutshell, one thing I like about the Sith is that they're very inventive. When things are not ideal for them, which they are usually the underdog, they usually find other ways of doing things So they're a little bit more scientific when they approach things. The Jedi tend to be a little bit more mystical. You know, they're like, we just believe in the Force, and the Force will show us the way. And that's to a fault. Whereas when the original Jedi, who were the Dark Jedi, who were cast out, they were believed to be basically sent a death sentence, because where they were sent, there was no hyperspace coordinates. You know, they just were left out there to space and isolated and ostracized out there. And the Jedi Council kind of believed that they would just meet their fate through the will of the Force. Well, what did the Dark Jedi do? Yeah, they didn't have any coordinates of where to go, and they, you know, they just kind of went in one direction. Who knows if they would have just gone on to space forever. What did they do? They heard the calling of the dark side. He said, you know what? It's especially strong over there, right there. Let's go there. And that's how they got to Korriban. They do a bunch of that stuff. And so in the old like Legends continuity, it's like the red crystals they're always synthetic. This whole bleeding thing, I've never liked that. But the red crystals were synthetic, and they were actually stronger, kind of like good steel. It's stronger and harder, but more brittle. So same thing with the red crystals. They were harder and stronger, but they had their breaking points too. So a phenomenal organic crystal could always break a red crystal. But the thing is that they had to make them because the Jedi and the Republic owned all the planets where the crystals came from. So even though they fought to try to get them, they had to make their own. And believe it or not, I'm going off on a tangent here. The lightsabers that we know that are like, you know, that you see, before that, they were tied to a cable. They had to have a power pack. So the Jedi of the Jedi, JED''HI, used a lightsaber with a power pack because they didn't have the technology to have it run on its own. Well, who created the lightsabers that didn't need a power pack? The Sith. So the Sith over and over and over fall into these situations where they have to rise above and they have to think outside the box. So I really like that. I tend to lean towards that as my guiding light. So yeah. So like the bleeding of the crystals. See, Disney's done a lot of this though. They've constantly reinvented the lore that didn't need to be reinvented. It's like the lore was there. It was ready made for you. You just had to step in to those shoes. They said, oh, well, you know what? We don't have where did these crystals come from? Let's call them kyber crystals. And those kyber crystals, because they become, go with the dark side and they're kind of attuned with their owner, they'll bleed them. That's why they turn red. What does that have to do with anything, right? Bleeding would be more organic, and that it's not a bad thing. It's I don't know. I just don't get it. I did see a video recently where the prop guy who made the original Darth Vader lightsaber, it was a very interesting story. I really, really liked watching that. They had made a whole bunch of them for the prop stuff. And when they went back to try to make some for Return of the Jedi, they were all, nobody thought that they would be keeping these things, right? That they would be valuable or whatever. And they just were thrown away or broken or whatever. But there was one that was kept, and that's the one that they kind of worked off as a prototype, and then they made that one for Return of the Jedi. But it was an interesting story because he recreated what he originally had in mind for Darth Vader's lightsaber. His original vision. He said he couldn't make it at the time, but he had a certain vision of what he wanted it to look like. And so he came up, you know how everybody has these cosplay lightsaber stuff. He made one for one of 200 that were made or something like that. And it looked really cool. It looked really interesting. But what broke my heart was that there's a little meter there where you can kind of see the crystal. But there's a gauge there, and at the very faintest lower left or something of the meter there's a little bit of green. And then he went on to say, like, when he bled the crystal and it became fully red, Anakin still had that little bit in him. So it was meant to be symbolic. And I love the idea, but I'm just like, oh, the original prop master even goes with the whole bleeding of the crystal thing. Broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart. Yeah, but then we will need to mind like Walt Disney and or George Lucas to take Star Wars to Unique Guy. Yeah, horrible, right? I know. There's a lot of that you'll see. It's like there's so many like lore things that were just, it's like, oh, we need an explanation for this. No, you don't. There is a lore explanation out there already. And you can just take the easy route because everybody's already, done the homework for you. But no. That I believe, just what I believe, I don't know this for a fact or anything. I think the writers didn't actually do their homework when it came to Star Wars. I think they just said, hey, look, this is what we think might be it, and we have creative interpretations to be able to say this is this and this. And that's what got them into trouble. So they're correct. Like everything that was in Legends is no longer canon, but man, it was a good story. Everything fit. There's a reason why those materials weren't just like cast aside as, horrible stories. That's why KOTOR was a great story, because it used the existing lore and built on top of that. The whole ricotta and well, I mentioned this before in previous streams, but the ricotta, even though they were conquering the entire galaxy, and that's the one we know from KOTOR, there was actually a faction that was fighting them from a smaller, group. They were kind of the sauropodians or something. They're kind of like dinosaurs, but they're humanoid, sized, and but they had like these long necks, kind of like a brachiosaur or something. And they were attuned to the Force. But guess where they're from? Dantooine. So the original Dantooine, kind of like the Dathomir. No, not Dantooine. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Dathomir, not Dantooine. Dathomir. So Dathomir, the original race there, actually were that group. And it's just very interesting how like they became possibly the witches of Dathomir, which is so much in line with the history of Dathomir and how like they're not really Empire Sith versus Jedi. They are just a faction of their own, and they just tend to lean into the dark side. And yeah, it's it's just a really, all the homework has been done. And it's just unfortunate that when we look at groups like that, we're not able to kind of like go back and revisit those things, because there's all those stories that could be told. Instead, we're kind of stuck in this I love The Mandalorian, but we're stuck in that zone of like, let's tell stories about this time period and whatever. And like, no, there's this deep timeline that we could go back to try to like recreate the history in a way that makes Star Wars unique outside of the Jedi and the Sith and the known stuff. We can still create new and unique stories using lore that's out there, that is unique and makes sense, helps us fill in some gaps, but hasn't been told yet.
Remember, Master, you are Seo Bakan, descended from the ancient Bacvalans here on Corellia.
Yes, I remember. My father and I, walking Exil Park, he said, Seo, we were
No, I have no father but the Emperor. Dozens of my brothers and sisters still lie in wait. Even the best hunter's arrow only strikes once. You are going to your death.
Leave these generals for the Republic. Got Guardian Hold 1 to handle.
So legends can be brought into canon with that whole world between worlds thing being a tools of factory reset, if you will. No, you're not wrong. I agree 100% with that. And then stop taking anything from legends, Darth Bane. That's an interesting topic too. I kind of discussed that a little bit on my video on the podcast channel, where I discussed the fate of the Old Republic stuff. I'll come back to that in a second, but how dare he mistake two planets fake fan? I know I'm the worst when it comes to names. I just am. I try really hard, but I'm just bad when it comes to names. But Darth Bane is like literally at the very end of the Old Republic era. You know, he brings in the Rule of Two and the Dark Brotherhood and whatnot. Then that's just a whole unique storyline to itself. And of course, Palpatine brings in a lot of those teachings of the Rule of Two and all that. And so there's only ever two Sith at any one time, and so that they have the strongest potential Sith always available at all times, and the Master will always be taken over by the acolyte. That way there's always this growing, and it worked clearly because Palpatine ultimately did conquer the galaxy. So that philosophy did work. But then what you see is like people like Crate after Palpatine that I think have a better way of understanding the Sith and how to make a Sith empire that actually truly works. So you're able to have not just 1, 2, 4, you could have 1,000 Sith, all fully capable without the Rule of Two. I think Crate had it right. So Bane's interesting, but I think more from the terms of like what philosophy he left to the universe.
Capital Square has Republic and Imperial soldiers, all fighting. No Guardian Hold 1. A Republic checkpoint is close. They may help. I send the position to everyone.
What's his name? Dave Filoni? Dave Filoni is a big Old Republic fan. So I think sometimes when they come back to Legends stuff, that's his influence. If you look at some of the stuff like from episode, what is it? 8? I think it's 8. Maybe 7. Anyway, there's the red crystal that's in Luke's hut. And there was a book, kind of like this little Star Wars episode 8 imagery stuff, this is what this ship is called, and has the diagram or the schematic of it or something. But it did refer to that crystal in that book. And what was interesting is it said it was from the first paladin from the Old Republic. And of course, that's only one person. That's Revan. So in that hut, there's a callback to KOTOR and the Old Republic. And that's all Filoni. I mean, I can almost guarantee, I'm 99% sure that that's Filoni. It's not just because the director said, hey, look, let's just throw Revan in here somehow, some way. He's the prodigal knight. And so you see bits and pieces here and there that are constantly recalling some of the details from the Old Republic. And so I don't know what to make if Filoni's actually, because he's over the Star Wars Disney operations now. So we'll see if that actually translates to anything good for all of us fans. But sorry, my phone's YouTube stuff cut out for a second. But I don't know if that translates for anything good for us long term. But I don't see the negative impact just yet, Yeah. But it pissed me off how they had Darth Bane come in as a ghost. Yeah. Yeah, Darth Bane was the catalyst of the rule too. Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. It's just, I think that's a very, very different storyline. I don't think that that's where this comes into. When they talk about Fate of the Old Republic in that trailer that we got, if you go to their website, Arcturus or whatever development company Casey Hudson started, they did call it a spiritual successor to KOTOR. But this game, SWTOR, was also called a spiritual successor to KOTOR. So I can't really take any stock in that. However, I think if they were to talk about Bane and that whole stuff, I don't think that's a spiritual successor. That's a whole new thing entirely. Now, I could be 100% wrong. Maybe they will. Maybe it will be something about Bane. I just think that's the wrong direction. We don't want to go that way. My opinion, if I'm writing Fate of the Old Republic, we have KOTOR, we have KOTOR 2 with Mitra Surik, and we have SWTOR. And we have the Bastila Shan in SWTOR, who is possibly one of the greatest Jedi to have ever lived. So you have Yoda and Farouk, whatever his name is in here. And of course you have Obi-Wan, Anakin maybe. When you talk about like powerful Jedi, Bastila Shan is right there. She's right there with them. So if you have Bastila Shan in KOTOR and the events of KOTOR 2 kind of redefine where that world is going, because you have a lot of the Jedi who have just, you know, the Republic has fallen apart. And you have Bastila Shan, who is looking for Revan now. You see that in KOTOR 2. And we know that they had a child. They had 2 children, at least the book's in Revan. So the book Revan itself is not the best, but it's all we have. And so if they had 2 children and their lineage continues, and Bastila Shan is a descendant of Revan and Bastila, what if in Fate of the Old Republic we do have a descendant of Revan and Bastila? Like that's a grandchild that we're looking at. And they're looking for Revan. We saw that ship, the Leviathan, it's the Dreadnought. We saw it on that planet. We don't know if it's the exact same one. Maybe it's just another model. Maybe it's another Dreadnought. May not necessarily have been the same one, the Leviathan. But what if it is? So we have possibly a descendant of Revan, which would make sense, who's looking for him, which also makes sense. And yeah, that line is powerful, and that could be the character that we are actually having a game about. I think the pieces fit, but you know, nobody's called me to consult on that. So yeah, Star Trek, how dare you? Yeah, Banana is the Star Trek fan in our group, so but yeah, like I said, I'm yapping way too much, and I've been trying to get this game completed for the class stuff, and I'm not doing a very good job. I apologize, guys. Where are we going? Oh, this way. But I do love having these discussions with y'all. Points of view. I mean, if you guys have any opinions about what that Fate of the Old Republic, where that timeline could be, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are just, it's going to be about Bane, you know, who knows? Just, it doesn't feel right. Then again, I could be 100% wrong, and it's going to be a phenomenal game because it has Bane in it. I don't know. And sometimes I'll leave these instances directly because I've been, when the game kind of first came out, if you left and went somewhere else, you didn't get credit for finishing it. But I already had that whole cinematic and stuff, so I knew that it would be fine if we just left. But I'm always a little nervous. Sometimes I come completely out of the instance because if you fast travel or something, it would cause you to not get credit for finishing the mission. Just on the story stuff, not the entire game. Okay, so we're trying to go over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to fast travel to this Trigo Shane's Aaron. Or Starfighters of Corellia. Go over here. This should be the last thing we do for Corellia. But could be wrong. Yeah, I'll shut up now so you can finish. No. Like I said, I like it when y'all are asking the questions about this stuff. I get myself on a tangent. So I know you guys want to see the story. I distract myself sometimes. Yeah, let's go to this Port Bavaria. Oh, there's one right here too. So there's two on the way. That's good. Let's do that. I love this little mount because see that? I've got our little Giska right here, and Nira's on the gunnery. I love this little. It could be designed a little bit better. It doesn't have. It's not extremely aesthetic, but it's kind of cool. But yeah, if y'all have any opinions about what y'all think the fate of the Old Republic could be, I mean, let me know. Because, like I said, I do have a video on the Gamers Advocate channel. I really like that video. I mean, I make videos that I would want to watch, so of course I'm gonna like it, right? But where's this? It's hard to read this map. But yeah, I bring in some, just some facts about the actual, what we know so far. There's actually a little Gizka in that trailer that they gave us. So there's all these callbacks to KOTOR, And if you're going to do that, like even just a little thing like that, that to me tells me you are returning to the original story feel. Bane just doesn't feel like that would be part of that, that storyline. That's just its own unique storyline. But, again, that's a quest. Let's make sure we get our fast travel slot. I don't remember this area at all. Then again, it is Republic. So can't mount. Okay. I want to go straight that way. Okay. Yeah, just love watching people playing. Yeah, I am the same way. There's some games I just like to watch people play because it's nice. I do a lot of editing, and so it's just something for me to have like as background while I do stuff. So anybody who's lurking, lurk away, because I know that's what I do when I'm editing. Nothing but love. Because let me see. I can live vicariously while I'm actually doing other things. Yeah. There is a fake wall around. I just don't remember where it is. Yeah.
Report your ailments.
Long overdue for selling some crap here. Interesting. Oh yeah, let's see what this looks like. Don't like it. Don't like those shoulder pads. This is neat. Oh yeah, this is this is the popcorn holder dress. Look at that. It's got it's like a reverse hood. But I always say, like, so you could like put a popcorn in there and you could just eat popcorn out of your hood. It's like, what? I get what they were going for, but it just doesn't look right. Let's put all this stuff right here.
You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
Let's open this real quick. I do need to give Nira some of these things. Oh, wait a minute. This is better. How come? Oh, it's because it's for, this is for Jedi Warrior. I should have sold these two things. Let's give Nira the public coin.
Me?
And the hand-painted Pazak card.
Thank you. It's lovely.
Yes. Hold on to that. So, increasing your influence with your companions is so important now. Used to, it was like, that's how you unlock story content with their stuff. That and I think your level. But now it helps them fight harder or better or more effectively for you. So it's real important to get that up. Just get rid of this one too.
Thank you. It's lovely.
All right. Good enough. Sell these other two items.
Stand by for examination and suggested products.
There we go. What is this? Cybertech. Yeah, just sell that. And then we'll sell that. Okay.
You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
And this is technically better, so let's put that on.
It's okay.
Okay. There we go. Sorry. But Bane is still great trilogy and is still part of the lore. Oh, no, you're not wrong at all. I'm just saying is that I don't know if I see it as a great storyline for Fate of the Old Republic. If that is the, like I said, so if Casey Hudson's doing the next, I don't want to say it's the next KOTOR game, but he's kind of almost giving the impression like that's what it is. It's like KOTOR Part 3, but they're calling it Fate of the Old Republic. I just don't know if that's the best way. Just make it its own thing, there's no need to kind of revisit the KOTOR portion of that. Let's go this way. And I highly encourage, like, if there's somebody's first time playing this game, do all these like little quests like this. They're all narrated. They're all have their own story. You know why you're going over here or trying to neutralize a certain zoo animal that got loose, or trying to, take out a certain amount of droids or some sentry target or whatever. They'll tell you all those things. Like I said, in Warcraft, World of Warcraft, it's just a little question mark over their heads, and you do whatever, you can read it, and then you go do it, and you just turn it in for whatever. It's just fetch stuff, But these guys will give you a reason why you're doing those things. It's just phenomenal. Jeez. Keep seeing these walls, and I keep thinking like there is an invisible wall in this area, but nope. Ooh, grade 6 credit case. All right. Also, in the meantime, I probably should be sending my guys out for more supplies.
See what I can do.
It's dark side, I don't care. There we go.
I will exceed your expectations, Master.
All right. Oh, Right here.
Are you in charge here, Sergeant? I need to find a bunker called Guardian Hold 1. Corellian officials may be hiding there.
Oh? Yes, sir. Corporal... Sorry, Sergeant Rossiker, Republic Operations. You said a Guardian Hold, sir? If there's some escape route nearby, we should have been told.
At DPM? I don't know what that means, but...
It was intended to be a Republic fortress, but it's been appropriated by the enemy.
Do you have any more details on Guardian Hold 1, sir? We're not a combat unit, but we do have resources.
Imperial officers have been receiving transmissions from inside that bunker.
So the Guardian Hold isn't entirely sealed. They're in contact with the surface. Right. Right. Any signal from inside would be scrambled, and they'll have the best equipment on the market. But our array could reconstruct it.
A military-grade communications array should track the signal in short order.
Ordinarily, yes. We just link to the communication points around Capital Square. Sir. Those points monitor and boost comm signals. But the Imperials captured them all yesterday. No one can get near them.
The Empire has put guards on those points, I take it.
There's reports that the Imperial Guard are on watch. And there's Sith with them. The Empire knows those communication points are valuable. It'll be a bloodbath.
All I need to know is if we retake the communication points, can you find the bunker?
Absolutely. The signal's not so... Yes, sir. Some of the comm points are on rooftops. It'd take too long for one person to fight up to them. Even you, sir.
Have enough Eshka for rooftop points. You take the rest.
Sir, when you've retaken the communication points, just switch them to this channel. A few seconds will be enough. We'll do the rest, though I'm afraid the hard part is up to you. Please be careful.
That feels like that's the final thing we got to do here. It's just, it seems like there's a, like everything's leading up to this one fight. So we'll see. I don't remember. Aha. So yeah, we have to take out these things. I kind of remember this a little bit. I think what I remember is that's a little annoying to to complete. Like, is it up here? Is it down there? Where is this thing? It's not up here at all. So it's probably in this way down here in this little tunnel. Probably leads to where we got to go. Look, it's very cyberpunkish with these advertisements here. Okay. Yeah, this is so funny because I just said, I think I remember this, and then I go the wrong way. No, you don't remember this at all, apparently. Am I going the right way? This is like literally right here, but I don't know how to get there. Oh, come on. This is classic Corellia. I do remember this. It's like you think you're going the right way, but you're not. Okay. Hidden wall? Nope. No.
A nice change of pace.
All right. Oh my goodness, where is this thing? I wonder if it would be faster. Oh, I see. I was supposed to go that way, up and around. Okay. I think. So SWTOR hack, if you do some of the side missions and stuff here, they kind of naturally take you to new areas, and Nadia.
See you at the ship.
Finished. Next.
Here.
Yeah, they naturally take you to certain areas, and if you're doing them in the same, you know, area that you're doing your class quest, they kind of just naturally take you to like where these areas would be. But I'm trying to go there straight, trying to go there directly, and it's, yeah. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I think it's this way. Could be wrong. Yeah, hey Corellia. Yeah, Bill Salvis for this confusion. Yeah, I don't know if you know that you're in the most quest setting, companion as tank is the most effective. So it would be, but when you're like a marauder or like what I'm doing a sentinel here, I have no ability to heal anyone at all. So if it's just so hard to see here. I'm going to go straight and then we'll see. I mean, I just came from here, so let's see. And I kind of thought reprogram the communications terminals, but there was no terminal when I went up here. So, but yeah, when I play on my Inquisitor, I always use Kim Val. I mean, he's my main. He's my ride or die. And Kim Val always like turn him into he's a tank. He actually is really effective as DPS, but I can heal, you know, so it's not that bad. Oh, wait a minute. Is it behind that wall? Maybe that's what I'm missing. No. No. I'm just misunderstanding this area. So let's go this way. But yeah, no, I usually have him as tank. So that way he gets all the aggro. I'm able to do massive amounts of DPS, and I can heal him if I need to from time to time. But when I'm on like a Marauder or like this one's a Sentinel, I have no ability to heal. So having a tank, it's a little risky, because if he dies, it's just me. The most effective way of doing this, of course, is having doing this with a friend. Ah, there it is. Doing this with a friend and have them be a tank, or you could be the tank, and then they are either healer or you're a healer, and then your other two are DPSs. It may take longer to get certain enemies down if you're playing like champions or something, but it's safer. Like, let's say you do like the Black Talon or something. It's just so much safer that way. Your main character is going to have a lot more health than your companion will, and your main character is going to have a better ability to heal than any of your companions would. So it's just kind of like the best of both worlds. You can kind of like mitigate the DPS as an issue if you have a really solid tank and a really solid healer. DPS is just eventually the character or whatever you're fighting is gonna, you know, go down. But if you're like a straight DPS character, like, you know, a lot of my characters are, I mean, you'll get the enemy down if your companion's the tank or your companion's the healer, but and you're running with, like, say, a friend. But it's just safer and usually more effective if you're, you know, doing a two-man party for, you know, quests and stuff, or heroics, and one of you is a tank and one of the other one's a healer. I actually really like healing on some classes a lot more than others. Oops, lost my camera for a second. Inquisitor to me is easier to heal, but just from my experience, I think agent is more fun. It's more fun to be a healer as an agent because you can just, you know, take your little pot shots here and there, but you just throw these globs of gas that heal. I think it works really well. Bounty Hunter surprisingly can be a very effective healer because you're able to wear like heavy armor, and so you're not a squishy healer. You can't heal as well as say an agent, but you heal pretty effectively. So I usually don't mind if I'm an agent focusing on healing, man. And you have so many different ways you can heal as an agent too. And it's not just like Inquisitor has 1 or 2 ways that you can heal, so you just spam those buttons over and over. But an agent has a lot of different ways you could do it, which is the reason why that's good is because they run off of energy, kind of like mana or something. And so you can kind of like, if it's a much more difficult enemy, you may need those bursts, but you can also kind of, you know, fill in certain things. Like one could be like instead of DPS, it could be like a heal over time, an HOT, a hot. And then you can do those bursts with that. Versus like simple enemies like these, you can just like do those little, you know, bursts or whatever, or maybe the medium one. But when you're like an Inquisitor, you only have like a couple ways you can heal. So, you know, you don't need to necessarily use like a ton of your force pool just for something simple. But where is this thing? Is it over there? Looks like it's right there. Like right there. That don't make sense. I might be in the wrong area. Damn it. Crap. How did we get turned around? I don't remember it being this complicated doing the Imperial stuff. Sarcastic? Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Your main is a healer? I play DPS a lot, and setting my comps to tank is still more effective, yeah. Yeah, my main is a healer as well, yeah. And that's my solo play knowledge, the 14 years, but love Merc healings are the best. Just being sarcastic. No, I mean, like I said, you're not wrong. I mean, I really think that the bounty hunter, like you said, the mercenary, solid. That's a solid build. How do I get over there? What the hell is going on? What? I'm confused. I just got to get over here, but I can't zoom in, and so I got to go around. Okay, I think I see. Okay, let's go with the camouflage. Okay. Well, hell.
It's okay.
Yeah, I really, like I said, I think for me, just it's more fun to play as an agent healer. I'm not saying necessarily it's probably the best way to be a healer, but like I said, you know, bounty hunters who are healers, that when I was doing operations, it was always nice to have one, because you could be in a small area where you know, you would try to like say, let's take this right side, let's not accidentally get these guys over here. So you're trying to, like, in a close quarters, try to manipulate that that thing, so if they like bounced you out or whatever. But if it happened and your healers were actually like well armored, it wasn't the worst thing. You know, you could survive it. Whereas if everybody's squishy, not always ideal. Oh, man. What the? Is it through here? Yeah, I think it's through here. Okay, I think we figured it out. Oh, something disconnected. What that was. Finally we're here. Okay. There we go. We finally did it. Go over here. Everything responds so fast now, I just need to get out of the way.
Sergeant Rossiker reporting. We're triangulating Guardian Hold 1 now, sir. Please stand by. Come on. Yes. Gaia, sir. This is our best estimate of the entrance, within a few meters. And I'd recommend getting inside ASAP. Our reports on that zone look like trouble.
That's why you hate Corellia, because of the confusion of the map. Yeah, same with Bill's office. Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, like I said, I love Corellia, but you're not wrong. It is a little. But like I said, if you're doing the side quests at the same time, you should be able to like see where everything's connected, because you're going in and out. I'm just trying to go straight from point A to point B, which I haven't. You know, I have no memory of this place. I'm Gandalfing it at the moment. But
nothing worthwhile is ever easy.
Looks like the Imperials are trying to barricade Guardian Hold 1, sir. I'm sorry, there's nothing else I can do.
You and your men have already been very helpful, Sergeant.
We all appreciate that, sir. Good luck. Sergeant Rossiker signing off.
Okay. We gotta go. God, gotta go. Gotta go back this way. Let's just look at this real carefully here. Hold on. I gotta go this way. How do we get up there? Yeah, so it is just a building here, but how do I get there? It looks like it's right next door, but there's no roads connecting it, and that worries me, because I'm thinking I'm just gonna face a big wall, you know, that I can't get to the other side. So let's get in our hot rod, find this. I don't remember this quest, but something is telling me that this is all we got to do for this planet, is this one quest. If there's anything beyond this, that's fine, but I don't think so. Yeah, see, it's like we're traveling further away. But with these Corellia maps, I do believe you got to just look to see where the roads are connecting. There we go. This is where we were just a minute ago. I got lost. Let's go this way. Look at that. I mean, I will say that the scenery, though, really nice. I mean, look at, you got these buildings, these unique buildings. It's not just like copy paste making them all look the same. I mean, it is unique. It's well done. I just wish I could just wish I knew how to get somewhere where I'm trying to get to more effectively. Let's see here. This might be the way. I may have found it. Hold up. Yeah. I think we found it. And then after this mission, we'll see what happens. But if it does finish the planet, then we'll call it. But if it sends us somewhere else to go, I'll probably call it anyway, and I'll try to get a slightly early start tomorrow, Friday. And then, like I said, I'm gonna try to push hard and maybe finish the whole class quest tomorrow. No promises, but I would like to try to get it finished this week. Oh, come on.
Slow for a while.
He's a healer. Looks like he's Republic, but he's playing Inquisitor. Interesting. Nothing but mobs.
Picked on the wrong people.
Oh. They hid that explosive right here. Let's see. Yeah, where's two planets? So I really have to analyze the map and look at the little orange lines. Beautiful buildings, yes. Just let me get to where I need to go. Exactly. It's like I said, that's kind of why I wish the Corellia there was like a before and after, because it lets you really appreciate what the planet looks like and the whole design and stuff, without getting way too deep into like, let me just get to the next thing, you know. Now you're just talking crazy, Legion. No, you're not wrong. How you doing, Dagger? It's good to see you. Oh, I do be talking crazy sometimes, you know. That's not unusual. How's Dune, Dagger? Anything new? Oh, one thing I noticed is that the most recent patch for Dune Awakening is the durability got reduced significantly. So I think it's like 50% now. So all your like gear, your tools and stuff, just regular usage now is like 50%. And I think combat durability was reduced from like 10% to like 4% or something. Doing is good, liking a lot of the new changes. Yeah, the quality of life stuff. I mean, to me, at some point, you're kind of thinking like, that's a bit extreme, right? To take the durability down to 50%. However, once you get to like the tier 6 stuff, I mean, it's not the easiest thing to replace, you know? So I kind of like that idea of saying, look, we know it's hard to get this stuff, and if you're, especially if you're single player, which there are a lot of single players at the moment, you know, we'll make it to where it's approachable. And I think that's the proper way of looking at it. Because they could have just made everything hard, of course, but man, this guy's not dying. Come on, let's get that loot. That wasn't improvement, so let's put, oh, wait a minute, wait. Yeah, see, this is, again, they're giving me like Jedi Knight stuff. I mean, it's better, but it's not really better. Yeah. Oh, and there was an explosive right here the whole time. Man, I keep missing them. All right, let's take out these battle droids, or oh no, these are troopers. Oops. Made a new base. Sorry. Yeah. And tore down the giant statue base. Yeah, you're kind of like creating a Tower of Babylon there for a while. Let's clear this area. Nope. Anybody? Oh. So wait a minute. This is glowing. Cave of the First Sun. So I guess yeah, this might be the last area that takes us to another area.
Promised us this place was impenetrable, Nadian. A temporary setback, sir. She's a Jedi. She can be reasoned with.
You were on the recording we took from the Javelin. You negotiated with the First Son.
That was a private communication. If you've come to accuse us of selling Corellia to the Empire, save your breath.
Jedi, please understand. We can all agree these consequences are unfortunate. But some of us were buying time. The Empire's offer was a chance to save Corellia and her people.
And then those same people nearly ruin everything by fighting back.
You sold their homeworld to the enemy. What did you expect to happen?
Why can nobody understand? Profit and security against inevitable annihilation. It just makes sense. I don't have to bargain with you. We'll stay right here until the Empire sends reinforcements.
Aha! Reinforcements. Oh, I am sorry.
You're not all that you appear, are you?
Does it shine through this feeble shell?
No. You're one of them!
The Emperor's words make everything clear, Jedi. The first son will prevail, and you will die.
Sorry, I was right in the middle of putting some muscle rub stuff on my wrist. just as he wanted to fight. I thought it was going to be a conversation, and I thought that hatch thing was gonna, we'd have to chase him down there or something like that. But no, it was a straight up fight. I have this. Well, I used to buy this in the oil form, but it's this Narayan SWTOR muscle gel, and it's mostly a petroleum based thing. It's with clove and eucalyptus, but what's great about it is that it absorbs into the skin really well. You know how like sometimes like muscle rub stuff is, say, it's kind of greasy and it's really overpowering with the smell and stuff. This one has a great smell for it. It smells like clove and eucalyptus, but it's from India. And I used to, like I said, get the oil version, and it would just absorb into the skin so well. And it's just, it really felt like it was doing a good job. But this one is in a, like I said, a kind of like a gel form, and it really, really helps. I can't always get it, but when I do, and it's not that pricey. I think it's like $7 for a good size tube here. So it's comparable to like muscle rub stuff or else, but yeah, it doesn't leave me greasy or anything. I can still like use my keyboard, and it doesn't leave any grease stains or nothing. It's like dry, it just absorbs real quick.
Counselor Sayak was one of the children? What if I am too? What if I'm about to become some Sith puppet?
Once I stop the first son shielding his brothers and sisters, all the children will be revealed.
The first son? You can stop him, and then we'll all be fine, right? I'll be safe? There's a hatch that leads into the caves beneath Coronet City. The first son went there, to our last sanctuary.
Is there any chance the first son could have left?
There's no other way out of the caves. He's there. I swear.
We can hold Guardian Hold 1 no more. Any reinforcements will overrun us. Stop him now.
Let your intuition guide you.
I understand.
Our men will give you as long as possible, but we may have to withdraw. If you succeed, meet us back at the ship.
We are ready when you are, Jedi.
See what I'm saying? It's like your team again. They're all here ready to help you out. This is a very BioWare way of doing things. But yeah, very BioWare.
Whatever happens, knowing all of you has been a privilege.
We get this fleet travel pass and that. Okay.
You're all right.
All right, so this is definitely the next area. Fleet travel. Don't need that really. Nadia, why don't you go sell this stuff real quick? Sell trash items. Make some room here just in case. And she's back. You know what? I should summon my other companions for just so I can give them the like. Let me summon Theron real quick, so I can give him the let's see right there.
Don't have all the fun,
shall we?
Yeah, it's surprising. He's 16 and Nadia's 15. So all those gifts I gave her large. But this will free up some inventory.
Thank you.
Medium. It's not really, doesn't care for much here at all. So let's pull up somebody else. Maybe Areso.
Time for a nap.
Okay.
Where's the bad guys?
He might like some of this Republic stuff. Exotic Gree heatsink. Now, I will say this. Don't ever ask me about the Gree, because they confused the hell out of me. From a lore standpoint, I didn't know what to do with them when they were introduced, and I still don't know what to do with them. I don't understand the Gree. It's like we made this very alien species that's more on the line of like artificial intelligence, but they are biological.
Wow, thanks.
I don't know. They just don't make sense to me.
Wow, thanks. Wow, thanks. Wow, thanks.
Okay.
Wow, thanks. You're gonna be fine. Wow, thanks.
Okay. So so any of these others, oops. Well, this is interesting. This one, this crystal right here has a really nice crystal inside of it. So I'm gonna definitely leave this down here because we might be able to pull that crystal and use it for something else. Yeah, this is the legacy thing. But these guys, we'll leave them right there. Let's pull in Kaizen, maybe?
See ya.
Yeah. I have a whole bunch of these declarations of the Emperor's Will. I probably just need to put in my legacy chest because probably none of my companions would like that. Unless Zenith might. I guess I'll try it. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Zenith likes it. He's a weirdo. Okay. Let's pull in Zenith and then be done. Like, I want to like Zenith, I just don't. He's in the wrong faction. If he was a Sith,
nice.
His attitude would make more sense. But if he was part of a Sith crew, they would probably have killed him by now. So,
nice.
That's why I said he could only really exist on the Republic side. Okay, so probably the rest of these need to go to our hold, legacy hold. So let me pull in Nadia again. And
sure.
Should be good.
Yes, more exploring.
All right, let's go. Let's go, Nadia. Yeah. Sorry. I don't understand the Gree either, even after 14 years. They're so alien, like intentionally so apart from everything that I don't know if we needed that. Said I couldn't see the target and wouldn't let me attack him. This is already kind of weird. I did do a few of their operations when the Grief first showed up. I did do a few of their operations, and they were interesting. But I still couldn't tell you from a lore standpoint, like what the hell are they? What are they trying to do?
I applaud you, Jedi. Your fortitude and courage are remarkable. No one has ever proved themselves to me.
Okay.
You will be free again, Master. I promise. Just hold on.
Please, Jedi. Sio has
please.
found his proper place. He doesn't have your strength, I'm afraid. Learning the shielding technique was only more evidence of your fascinating mind. But then, you chose to save Lord Vivicar, risking your own life. Intriguing.
What intrigued you?
You proved what you were willing to lose. I underestimated how powerful your trials would make you. But this sudden miscalculation, not like you at all. You should never have come here without your army's protection. Losing you will shatter the Rift Alliance. The Republic will collapse. Fear, not war, will be the Republic's end. They will know the children remain, shielded by my will, and that their last hope is dead.
The Rift Alliance is more than one person, and the Republic is greater still.
Even now, you cling to your convictions. Such a mind. You would have been unstoppable as one of us.
One of us.
But
one of us.
It's too late. I cannot let you live.
But you still enjoy the Gree event? Yeah, me too. I mean, like I said, they're really interesting. I really wish they weren't on Ilum. I think it's my main issue, because I really do enjoy doing stuff on Ilum, and the little lore that they put on the planet is good. But that's where all the like lightsaber crystals are at and stuff. But the Gree being there, it just doesn't feel right. Will of Sio. Whatever. Yeah! Ooh, turbulence. We're getting them down. Looks like Jedi's back on the menu, boys.
Tell me why, Jedi. I stand unique among all other men in the galaxy. Why must I be destroyed?
There is more to you than the first son of the Emperor. That part I must save.
Gone. He is...
Now, Master Sio, while he's weak, take control and unmask the other children.
I won't allow you to?
I am the one who will not allow this, First Son.
I know who I am. I am C.O. Bakan. I am a Jedi Master, and you have lost. It's done. The shield is broken. The children's last protection is gone.
What happened to the first son? Is he gone too?
He's still here. Locked away, but awake. Like Yoreshka. I never suspected. How many died because I never suspected?
You can't forget all the good you've done as a Jedi, despite having such darkness inside you.
I still have a task to complete. The first son will never be free of my control again. I'll see to it. With the Council's help. And forgiveness.
We'll always be here if you need me, Master C.O.
I see there is little more I can teach you. I should stay here to recover, away from everyone. And thank you for fighting when I could not. You should go. Corellia and your Republic are waiting.
Ah. Okay, so good. We can just go straight to the ship, and we will use the ship's holocron. Yeah. And we'll see what it says. I don't know if that finishes. They may say, come back to, you know, the Jedi Council, and they also could just say, go somewhere else. I don't know. But yeah, now all my people want to talk now. Now we're not doing it. We'll save that for the next stream. Let's see what they say, because I'm not 100% sure.
There has been much turbulence in the Force.
I'm glad to see you alive, Jedi. We all are.
After the first son's shield collapsed, we suddenly felt every child of the Emperor. Their darkness screams at us. They can never hide again.
And yet we didn't sense the first son's death. Strange.
It isn't strange, Master Satele. Master C.O. is waiting in the caves below.
You overcame the willpower of the first son of the Emperor?
Incredible. If C.O.'s alive, we must bring him home to Tython immediately.
Are you sure that's wise, Satele?
C.O. faces a lifetime of keeping the first son contained, and coming to terms with himself. He needs you.
He will have all the support we can offer.
Children of the Emperor are fleeing. Imperials are leaderless.
The forces in Capital Square are en route. The Republic still has a fight, but with the Guardian holds retaken, we have an unshakable foothold.
I'm pleased I could help.
You and the Rift Alliance have done more than we ever thought possible. Unfortunately, it's been necessary to elect a new Supreme Chancellor. We must inform her of these developments. Support the battle on Corellia, then meet us on Coruscant.
She said secure the battle of Corellia? Use your ship to travel to Coruscant. Coruscant. Interesting. Okay. So, again, what we'll do is that when we come back tomorrow, well, this time tomorrow, I'm going to try to maybe get a little early start because I don't remember. I don't remember if we have to go do another planet like Ilum to end. I don't know if we're supposed to go back and forth and then go do some other stuff. But I'm going to try to get this class finished tomorrow. But we'll see. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I almost read your thing twice there, Dagger. And I could be way off. There could be a lot more behind this. Like I said, there's a lot more game behind the class storyline, but I just don't remember Republic that much. Anyway, so it's like I'm playing a whole new game all over again. But I will check you guys later. I appreciate everybody dropping by, all the lurkers. Like I said, lurkers make the stream dream work. I am going to be working on my videos again. I'm always working on them. I'm always like either making B footage, stock footage, or kind of like writing scripts or getting some ideas down, or editing, or prepping some stuff, clipping some things. Have a good night. Have a good night yourself, Dagger. And so I'm always working on my videos. That's my primary project. But I do enjoy coming to these streams. And so, like I said, going forward, I'm going to be starting Central Time 8 at the very earliest, but normally probably around 9 o'clock. And on YouTube, I always have a little announcement there of saying when I plan on going live. I usually try to put that up 1 to 3 hours before I actually go live. So it'll be up. But anyway, yeah, going forward, that's what we'll do. But yeah, appreciate everybody being here, and I will check you guys later. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.